All right, I hope everyone's ready. Here is The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures, run by Zmaster91.
All right, welcome to 4 Swords Adventures, everyone. I'll just get this started because there's kind of a long cutscene in the beginning, and we'll talk about the game as it's going. Oops. One second, actually. Sorry.
Oh, there's no memory card in?
Memory card. All right, we're off to a great start. Okay, all good. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So I'm Zmaster91, and I'm joined by my commentators, Dan Ray, Mantrakupas, and VB. And they'll probably be commentating during the run most of the time. I'll interject sometimes, but I'm really bad at playing this game and talking at the same time.
Yeah, this game is very difficult, so it's completely understandable that Z would want to take the opportunity to focus well and perform at GDQ.
Especially during some of the tricks. Some of them are like very, very hard to talk about.
Absolutely.
So one of the main differences, so you can see I'm playing on Japanese, obviously. One of the differences here is that, yes, text does make a difference, but it's actually not as much as you might think. So the only text that matters is in the very beginning. You'll see in a little bit after this section, there's some really slow scrolling text, and that's basically where it makes a difference. It's only 30 seconds or so. But later on in the run, there's some tricks that are Japanese only that we'll be taking advantage of. I'll point them out when we get there, but otherwise, it doesn't really make much of a difference. It does make the game easier to play, because there's some tricks that are really annoying.
Yeah, and there's some minor mechanical
versions.
differences between the English and Japanese versions, too, that make Japanese feel more smooth to do some of the tricks on, for sure.
So for the uninitiated, you may notice that we're only doing a single player here today. You might think that we would do multiplayer, but there are way, way more tricks in the game on single player, on top of movement just being way better in general, because when you have a bunch of players on screen, they pick each other up and it's not so good. You will see some two-player tech later in the run, but it's mostly going to be one player, and that's by far the best version of the run.
Something else to mention is the controller that the Z-Master is going to be using. You can play single player with either a Game Boy Advance SP attached to a Wii or GameCube, or a GameCube controller. The GameCube controller is objectively better because it allows you to do quick formations with the C-stick, which is something we'll get into a bit later, but for now all you need to know is that he is playing on the GameCube controller, and that's the fastest way. That does, however, lead to some complications, because this is a top-down game with like 8-way or 4-way movement, so controlling that with a stick can be kind of awkward.
I kind of like it, but
Yeah, I mean, over time you get used to it. Okay, who's the best maiden?
Yeah, you can choose your favorite maiden right here. If you pick Zelda, you're cheating, but...
Purple.
not red.
I like green.
Yeah, so as VB said, you can use different controllers for this game. I will be using a different controller later on, specifically the last level. On the chair next to me, I have a couple controllers sitting next to me, which I'll be using for co-op later on. I'll co-op with myself, but yeah.
Solo co-op. So there's a neat trick here where if Z holds down when Link walks into the portal, he'll turn around. And there's just one frame where you can move. It's kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of those in the intro. We've tried doing other things with it, but you can't pause, which would be the only useful thing, maybe. We don't really know, though.
Coming up to the only real gameplay in the intro, it's the Master Sword pull. Master Sword pull is super dumb.
Hardest part of the
because
game.
You get a dialogue option. Do you want to pull the Master Sword? Yes or no? And it defaults to no for whatever reason. Like, why would it do that? So you have to manually move the cursor over to yes.
Yeah, you can't just mash.
Well done.
First try.
So to talk about the general foundations of this game's really different from every other Zelda you've seen in this marathon so far, in that it's stage-based. The goal of every stage is going to be just to get to the end, but you also have to collect 2,000 gems. So a lot of this game comes with how much of a level you can skip while also picking up items.
Yeah.
Once you get 2,000 gems, you get the level 2 sword, and that lets you break the barriers at the end of each level.
Something else unique about the level system is you don't carry over items or upgrades between every level. It's basically 24 miniature Zelda speedruns in a row, if you want to think about it that way.
And that's kind of the reason why there's no 100% category. This is really the only category of the game for the most part, because heart containers and stuff don't carry over, or they're not even the game doesn't keep track of them.
There's also random rooms that you can't get to normally
Yeah,
that have heart containers and
there's
stuff in them.
one of the levels, there's this room out of bounds that you just can't get to. So we're going to jump into the first level right here. And right away there's going to be text. Text in this game is kind of cool. The only button that clears text in this game is A, so you just have to mash A as fast as you can. So getting into movement a bit, here's going to be rolling. Rolling is obviously faster. Something annoying about rolling, though, is that you use the R button, which is the same button that's used to pick stuff up. So sometimes that comes in handy, but most of the time it's just an annoyance. You want to roll somewhere, but you accidentally end up picking something up.
And you might have noticed at the entrance of that cave, he went into a C right formation, which is just the horizontal line. And when you're doing that, you can like use the rightmost link to pick up objects, which just makes it a little faster.
Yeah.
You don't have to waste time picking stuff up. You can just keep moving.
Yeah, so here he picked up the boomerang. Something else unique about FSA is that you can only carry one item at a time. So right now it's the boomerang, which, grabs far away items. Nice.
You saw him pick up the rock there, too. That was to skip gem cutscenes.
Yeah.
Every time you pick up a big gem, you'll get a gem cutscene. Well, most of the time, you'll get a
So
gem
he just pulled a
cutscene.
rock out of nowhere. Basically, the way screens in this game work are sometimes they're stacked on top of each other. And you can just pick up a rock from one of the other screens. And there's a fire rod under that rock. So you move the fire rod over. So he's very good on gems right now. 433 is a good number to have here. 1-1 has one of the tighter gem routes in the run because usually we just reset on it. We're big idiots and didn't make a marathon safe route. So yeah, we just have to hope everything goes well.
The only gems I can even think of are these ones. So
There's a gem fountain on the previous screen that you could do. All right, so this is a trick called, oh my god, what
First
a legend.
try, wow.
Oh my.
That's one frame.
That
on
is
a 60-frame game.
That is an extremely difficult trick. So what just happened was a trick called GBA OB. Whenever you enter one of the GBA screens that would normally show up on the SP while you're playing, there's one frame you have to press X, which is the button that drops the links and makes you just control green. If you press that button on the first frame, you gain control. Your links go into a ghosted state on the previous screen. And then you can go back to the main screen and switch to them, and that's how he was able to get up onto the bridge.
Yeah, so basically he went into C right, and so that put all the links to the right. And so when he respawned and switched to those links, they were right of the bridge.
And when we say C right, that refers to flicking the yellow stick on the GameCube controller.
Yeah. Hurricane spin.
Yo, that was like a 715.
Nice.
That's actually a crazy 1-1.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, out of bounds is going to come up later in the run as well.
A lot.
Yeah.
So that prompt between every level is just asking if you want to save. We say no and continue because saving is slow. So right here is going to get the lamp. Lights things up, obviously. This room has a really cool trick called a freeze clip. Basically, the way it works is some actions in this game cause the game to slow down or freeze for a short amount of time. And if you buffer a C direction during that freeze, you can actually move one tile through a wall. So he's going to be buffering a C right while standing next to the door, and that's going to let him clip past the door and carry the key into the next room, which is going to skip the need for a key in the next room. He can,
Yep.
yeah, well done like
right
that.
There.
And here's something, if you use formations while you're up against blocks, you can push them the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's a small time save. The block pushing in this room looks really neat when done optimally.
So he's going to do a trick coming up called formation menu clipping. I think he is, at least.
Yeah, he's going to do a trick called an FMC roll, formation menu clip roll.
And so what you're going to do is every time you go into the formation menu, you have like either a frame or two. I don't know
It's
exactly
one
what
frame.
It's one frame that you can clip through objects. And so you can use exit and re-enter over and over again. It's very precise and really hard to do. I don't know how he's so good at it.
Every time you open the menu is a frame-perfect input at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. There's going to be some later that are just insane. Yeah, so a little low on gems there, so he went out of his way to get a few more.
Like most runners wouldn't even do that formation menu clip just because of how so little time it saves.
Yeah,
but
that
he's so
saves
consistent at it that he just
1
does
second,
it anyways.
I think, if
Something
that.
like that.
All right, so this is the bat room. It can be kind of finicky because of the way charged up bow mechanics work. You can't shoot an arrow until the previous arrow has kind of disintegrated off screen. So yeah, that can be annoying.
Sometimes that green gem that falls will fall off the bridge, so it's good that it didn't, because his gems aren't bad, but they're not great either.
This will be good though to finish the level.
Yeah, whenever you have a gem rain, it's besides the green gem, the big green gem, it's completely random how many gems you get. So the first 2 levels can be kind of difficult to get all the gems sometimes.
So coming up is going to be the first Shadow Link fight after he pulls this lever. The way the Shadow Link fight works is pretty self-explanatory. He transforms into a color Link, and you have to hit him with the color that he transforms into. This time there's only one, so it isn't really a big deal, but later there's going to be multiple, and those can be pretty hairy.
And he actually walked into that cutscene with the bow out already, and that just buffers a bow shot. It makes that fight a lot easier.
Yeah. And the Shadow Links also always drop either a 100 or a 150 gem, which makes them pretty useful for routing. This fight also isn't too bad because you can stun the Shadow Link with the bow.
There's also only one Shadow Link.
Yeah. So I guess we should get started talking about 1-3.
1-3 is sort of like the first gauntlet stage of the game where there's just a bunch of hard tricks.
It's definitely, 1-3 is in the top 3 hardest stages in the game for sure. I'd argue it's the second hardest.
Yeah. So, Owl Skip?
Yeah. So the first thing that's going to happen is a trick called Owl Skip. The way that works is it's going to go into C right, roll, drop the links, C right again, very quickly press X again and roll. Not in that order, but that's what he's going to do. And that's going to get the links around the cutscene trigger. There's normally an owl here. He comes and talks to you. Like that.
And the reason that works is because when you're in formation, the only link that will trigger it is green link.
Yep. So the next trick coming up in a couple rooms here is going to be the small key skip, which is, again, one of the hardest tricks in the run, and it's going to be followed by another one of the hardest tricks in the run. So this level is a doozy for sure. But
I would explain to you how small key skips works. I have no idea.
Okay, I do. So, you know, get owned. But so basically the way it works is it's going to get OOB, which is the glitch we saw in the first level, where you press X on the first frame, you enter a GBA screen. Actually, I just realized I don't know how it works either. I mean, I sort of do, but like, I don't think anybody knows how it works.
It's like some combination of OOB and formation menu clipping, but I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah, you're basically, ooh, that was like third try OOB, very nice. All right, so I'll be quiet for this.
First
well
try,
done.
And one roll too.
It really can't be overstated how difficult that trick is. It is extremely brutal.
I missed it for like 2 minutes in my last HDQ run.
Yeah.
And he did in one roll too, which is like not super easy.
Yeah, he did a variation of it that's quite difficult.
I mean, I just assume that everything in this game works because of magic.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. So the next trick is going to be more simple, but not more... It's just as difficult, even if it's a bit more simple. This is barrier skip. It's going to be a formation menu clip. Basically, the way this works is he's going to clip into the actor of the electricity here. I'll let him focus. Oh. So when you're clipping into an actor like that, you can actually clip into a wall too, that, like you saw there. Normally, you're not able to have links in walls.
Oops.
And once he's in the wall, you can call him over very precisely to get up onto that ledge. Yeah,
Pretty unlucky.
Yeah, the final input is very tricky, unfortunately.
I feel like he's just getting unlucky. Sometimes walls in this game just don't.
The way this game tracks positioning is very precise. It's like way more than a pixel. There we go.
Nice. I would also just like
Dude,
to point out
sick.
that we had barrier skip.
Oh my
long
god,
before
okay,
the
so
Wind
this is
Waker
a trick.
HD.
This is a trick that you never see anyone do ever. Oh,
Oh, that's too bad.
okay. There's a very there's a very small time saver there. If you get OOB when you're going into that screen, it's not really worth it to try and get OOB again. But he did get it. You can skip basically hitting this switch.
Yeah, you just like jump off the wall where
Yeah.
you saw him rolling.
It's a very difficult trick. Not as difficult, but because it's so rare to get it, people aren't practiced in it. So yeah. So here's going to be a cool trick called jump storage. Basically, he's going to...
You catch the links on the edge there,
And-
and then they will jump
Whoop.
to the top left when you go back to the main screen.
Yeah. And we're in the first boss, Phantom Ganon.
This game's so fast. So he's going to do a strategy on Phantom Ganon called a two-circle.
Two-circle.
And there's actually a bit of a faster strategy to it now, but basically, this boss has a specific amount of damage before he'll shift to his second phase. And so he's going to do a certain sequence of attacks.
Yeah.
The second one's a bit more specific than that one. And it's just to make sure you get the maximum amount of damage per phase to get him in 2 cycles.
You can see he poked him with green there, and that was to get the 2-cycle, which he did. Very well done. Yeah.
I guess something you can mention is that, like, on that boss, if you're doing this in co-op, you actually have to bounce it between all the links before you can damage him, right?
Yes,
I believe
yeah,
so.
No
you
idea.
do.
Yeah. So, like, that's another reason single player is faster.
So who has blue as their favorite maiden?
Blue, anybody? Anybody?
Anybody like blue?
Hey, we got a few
All right,
people.
we got a few blue.
Oh, Sakura
lovers.
likes blue. All right,
Okay,
perfect.
okay. But yeah, these Underworld cutscenes are probably a good time for a donation or two.
Perfect. We actually have a $20 donation from Shubin Riken. Good luck on your run, Z-Master. Always love the Legend of Zelda games. Thanks to GDQ for supporting such a fabulous cause. Put my donation towards Pepsi Man. Come on, my fellow watchers. Get those donations in so we can see the Pepsi Man run. We have a $15 donation from FJ Fresher. I'm way excited for Four Swords Adventures. I love this event and everything it stands for. I'm putting this towards Pepsi Man in honor of my favorite cola.
I'm really glad we're out of 1-3.
Same.
Plus, we're going to 2-1, which has like my favorite trick in the game.
So yeah, 2-1. Right at the start, he's gonna do a double rock lift cancel. This is something we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh.
Whenever you're picking up one of these big rocks, like the two here, if you press L or Y, it cancels the animation entirely. So that's how he's able to pick up the rock so quickly. Coming up is going to be a smaller FMC. It's the only major trick in this game I've ever found. So you know, I'm pretty proud of it. It's gonna allow us to clip through this lady and go basically through the house. Like that.
Yeah.
And that allows you to carry the slingshot quickly into the Zora fight. In old routes, we had to use bombs for this fight, and it was just awful.
It's really bad to fight him with bombs.
The Zoras are still somewhat inconsistent. Their positioning is always the same.
That was really close to
yeah,
a 1 cycle, which is like really hard to do.
Yeah. But how quickly they pop out of the ground is random. Or not ground, but you know, water.
So this is my favorite trick coming up. It's called like clip. So there's a like on the screen, and normally you're not supposed to be able to really do much to likes when you're inside of them, but you can use formations to stun the like, and it has some funny properties.
See you later, Green.
And then you just shake out and you start over there.
And now you're on top of the wall. And that
Yeah, we're also out of bounds.
Yeah, that has the advantage of whenever you're on walls, out of bounds walls in this game, a lot of the time the ledge doesn't work properly, so you can do big jumps like that. Oh, also, this is what's called a Nova Bomb screen. That big bomb in the middle with the number on it. If you are on the main screen when that hits 0, you die. It does not matter how much health you have. Gem count here is really good right now. There's going to be a really unique strat coming up. One of the enemies in this game is called a gem soldier. And basically what it is it's a gem that has a sword and slashes at you. But whenever you kill it, if you kill it quick enough, it transforms into 100 gem when you kill it. So there's going to be a really cool strat on this next screen to kill 3 of them at once using bombs.
And if you don't kill them in time, they'll just explode, so you won't get the gems.
Yeah,
so it's
like
actually
that.
important to kill them.
So I sometimes see a number pop up when Z kills an enemy. Does that do anything specific for him?
Yeah, so that's the combo meter. So when you go killing enemies in a row between getting hit, obviously, you get a combo. And that will drop certain gems and other things.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it becomes less useful, just because it'll like drop fairies and stuff that you don't need.
Fairies are basically the extra lives in this game. If you die, you lose a fairy. But you get 2 at the end of every level,
Yeah.
so you have more than enough. Game overing is never a concern. All right, and this is the lobster. The lobster is not a friend of you and I, because he spins randomly. Every time he hits a wall, the direction he turns is random. And every time you hit him, the direction he turns is random. That was a very good lobster
was
fight,
really
I was
by
going
the
to
way.
say.
Yeah. I'd honestly argue that reacting to lobster RNG is like one of the hardest things in this run to do well. And that was a very well executed lobster, even if it wasn't the best
Yeah,
luck.
that wasn't the best luck at all. If you get the best luck, it puts like all the hits right in front of the link you need to hit it with.
So coming into 2-2, I think 2-2 is kind of a fan favorite level. It's the village level where you have to do a bunch of trades and side quests and stuff to get the feather, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, the feather.
You get the feather, which lets you get the book, which lets you leave the village. Thankfully, we have glitches, so we don't need to worry about any of that.
That was an owl cutscene skip, by the way. There's an owl there.
There's an owl trigger here. You can just stay on the bottom part of the screen, and you never have to deal with them. So we're actually going to skip all of the trading sequence with one really simple abuse. It's hardly even a glitch.
Yeah, it's more of an oversight.
It'd be allowed in OOT glitchless. Basically, whenever you call the links over to you, they ignore gaps. So what he's going to do is position the links somewhat precisely and then call them over. And purple's going to be on the other side there. So that skipped the entire level. And that trick's really easy. You can try it at home if you have this game. And thankfully, there's a feather over here.
Yeah.
We would have a skip to get back, even if there wasn't, but it's just really convenient that there is. So something you might have noticed is that he skipped all of the gems, and we need gems. This level happens to have one very, very, very convenient gem that allows us to do a trick called gem duping. And you might hear that and think, whoa, gem duping, that must be like really good. Unfortunately, gem duping in this game is really situational. The way it works is you need to pick up a gem and leave the screen at the same time on the exact same frame. So there basically needs to be a gem on the same, on the edge of the screen, which here there is. There's 300.
Yeah, it doesn't work with like drop gems. It has to be a set gem that's always
Yeah.
there on the stage.
So if you see that purple lad over there, there is a setup for it, but it's still a frame perfect trick every time you have to dupe. So I'll let Z focus a bit. Pay attention to the number in the bottom left. Well
Nice.
done. That's what I was talking about earlier, where sometimes when you're rolling, you just pick things up. It's an unfortunate side effect of roll and pickup being the same button.
So now we have 2 shadow links, which these ones aren't that big of an issue, but some of them later will be way worse.
I guess something worth noting is if you dip back below 2,000 gems, you still keep your powered up sword. It's a question some people ask sometimes.
And there's also something else with the Shadow Link fights that I don't think we mentioned. When they're changing color like that, there's like a small frame window where they lift up their sword where they're just vulnerable. If you do not hit them in that window, it becomes much bigger pain to fight them because
Because
they'll
they have a
actually
shield.
defend themselves.
Yeah.
So we try to time that perfectly every time, and then it gets you 2 quick hits.
2-3. So this level's changed a lot over the history of me running this game, and It's probably one of my favorite levels. Has a lot of cool tricks. The whole, I guess, theme of this level is picking up items. You need to get the lamp to light up the torches, and then the bow to shoot the fire across and light up every torch in the room. But we're actually going to skip every item. We're not going to get any items except the boomerang in the boss fight. Due to a glitch called zombie storage, which is just as interesting as it sounds. Basically, the way it works is he's going to have to get GBA OOB again. But after that, he's going to die. We're not going to do a fake out. We're not about that life. So he's going to die after getting OOB, and that's going to store the death of the out-of-bounds links, so that when they die again on the main screen, they'll actually die after links and be after green link and be zombies on the main screen. And those zombie links have very odd collision that allow you to get out of bounds when you normally wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, you can't necessarily like clip through walls, but if they're in walls, you can move them around while they're in the walls.
So basically, he's going to have to set them up to die at a kind of precise angle. This trick can be kind of difficult, so I'll let him focus.
Sometimes this trick can randomly fail too. I don't really know why.
Yeah. Sometimes things just take longer, right?
These enemies are the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to get these guys to the right position. Well done, that'll work. So now, those links are going to die. Green link's going to die. They're going to stay dead. Green link's going to come back. The other ones aren't.
And then he's going to disappear.
Then Green link's like, I think, under the floor right now.
I think he's oscillating or something.
Yeah, something like that. So now Blue, because of the way Z summoned back the links, is all the way on the left side of the screen. He's off screen right now. But he's very, very slowly moving across the top of the screen, and is going to be clipped into that iron door at the top. You can see him there.
Yep.
And now you just have to die one more time. And switch to Blue, and you skip the entire level.
This is the best room. Lots of speed tech.
I guess something to mention is that he would prefer to keep his combo meter up here. He doesn't need it, but it does make it more likely he'll have 2,000 by the time the boss, or before the boss. Lag.
These rats are actually the real final boss of this game.
The AI on the rats is crazy. They have like, so have you ever read a study that says like human reaction time is like whatever? The rats have like 3-frame reaction time. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's also important to kill those Wizrobes. Like you saw that he got like, sometimes you'll just get cheated out of hits when you do that jump slash. So you'll have to 2-hit a Wizrobe when you can kill him in 1 normally.
So this boss, for phase 1, you need to grab the boomerang and grab all the eyes off. It can be a little difficult, especially since Z is going to have to get the gem power up during the fight. It doesn't technically waste any time, it just makes the fight more annoying because you get interrupted. Oh, that was a really good phase 1.
And since he has the level 2 sword here, he can go for a 1 cycle.
Yeah.
So when you're doing, there's a couple ways to do spin slashes. You can do it by rotating the control stick, and you can also do it by rolling. And if you do it by rolling, you can actually get like double hits. So you'll see he's hitting twice with some of these. And if he has really good timing, he'll get, you see he got that slash there, which kind of killed it.
One day.
We call it the free 1 cycle because it's actually really hard, but...
Yeah, Dan uploaded a video of it, and you got it once, and you were like, this is free.
Yeah. I got it on the first try when I was trying it out, and then I posted, and I'm like, this is free, and so now we call it the free 1 cycle, even though it's actually really hard.
All right, yellow fans? Any yellow fans in the audience? All right, we got a few yellow fans. Okay. We don't actually have any yellow fans. I just I didn't want people to feel bad.
I saw some hands.
I didn't.
You could also do some donations right now.
All right, we have a $1,000 donation. From Dubanka, four Lynx and Pepsi Man. Name a more iconic quintet. I'll wait.
Very nice sub 30 world too. The first two worlds are some of the hardest parts of this one, I'd say. So it's very impressive so far.
Yeah, usually the first 3 worlds stress me out a lot, and then I calm down after that. But
now we're going to the best world, World 3.
Disagree, but
I actually really like World 3. I think that's an unpopular opinion. But overall, it has my favorite levels. This first screen is really cool. There isn't really any trick to it. It's just kill all the guys. And you have to have really good execution, really good reaction to how the RNG treats you. Yeah. It's kind of like a prime example of what this game is as a speed game. He wants hearts because there's going to be a trick in the next room called a formation hover. The way this works is if you use C formations near a ledge, you can kind of cling to, or near a wall, you can kind of cling to a wall like that. Yeah, and roll on. That trick's very inconsistent, and it's very possible to fall a lot. So that's why you grab the hearts on the previous screen. Here's a neat little time saver.
you also just kind of want them in this area because of all the different things that can deal damage
that's
to you.
true.
And you don't want to drop this medallion.
You want to explain medallion?
Yeah, sure. So he grabbed a medallion here, and this one is the something medallion. I don't know the new lore. But this one kills all the enemies on screen. And I think you're meant to use it somewhere else, but we're going to use it on a screen to the right where we get the hammer.
Yeah.
And it's going to save us from having to push a house.
Yeah. You can throw it on the GBA screen and it doesn't break, luckily.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Oh, unfortunate luck with these guys.
Yeah.
These guys do a lot of damage. I believe they do 3/4 of a heart on hit.
half.
Half? Okay.
Yeah.
Fortunately, oh wow, they were right on the edge of the screen.
So the normal strat for this room is to grab this house and push it around and kill all those guys individually, and it's really, really slow. So it's really important that he doesn't drop the gem, which is why he sort of took it somewhat carefully through there.
And that activated the hammer, which lets us break down these pegs.
Yeah.
Coming up is going to be the Cyclops fights. The Cyclops have a good amount of HP, so generally Z's going to want to do a spin attack into a jump slash to kill them. And he needs, the thing about this game is you do need to hit with all 4 links to do maximum damage. So the spacing on the spin attack and the jump slash needs to be kind of precise.
You really don't want these guys to grab you, because if they grab you, they'll start taking your gems, and then you just have to pick them up again, which wastes time.
All right, and here's going to be another OOB to get out of bounds. Another out of bounds to get out of bounds.
Sometimes the ogres will follow you over there, and it's really annoying because they'll come by the door and you'll take damage every time you go in and out.
And then super jump?
Yeah. It's almost like they didn't expect you to be up there.
Yeah, the OOBs this run have been incredible, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't think we've seen one over 5 tries, which is good.
Especially for like GDQ, where you like don't have a quiet environment.
Yeah, and you're not used to everything. Yeah. So coming up is going to be a pretty neat trick he's going to attempt here. I'll let him do the setup. Disco jump.
Yeah!
So the way that works is you pick up all 4 gems at the same time. So it does that little animation, but it kind of shuffles the slots so they spin around, and we call it disco gems.
It's really hard because you have to pick up a link. You have to switch links, pick up a link, and then get into the middle of the gems.
Yeah,
before
all within
they
a couple
spawn.
frames. Yeah, all within a couple frames. It's like 3 inputs in a very, very small time window.
So I guess something we could mention is that we've seen Z pick up something before, like picking up one of the big green gems. And that skips a small cutscene, right? Whenever
Yeah, it
he
skips
picks
the
something up.
animation of Link holding the gem above his head.
Yeah.
So there was another owl skip at the beginning of that level, just rolling around a trigger. Here's going to be another freeze clip like we saw at the beginning in 1-2. When you throw the fire, you get freeze frames, and that lets you clip through the ground there. Skips the majority of this room, which is good because it's really annoying and I hate it. Coming up in the next screen, there's going to be a gem that alternates between being a big purple gem, which is a 300, and a big green gem, which is a 100. And if Z's movement is good, he can catch it before it switches to being a green one. He basically wants to catch a fast cycle.
He picked up the pot with blue there, which is a good start, because that means he won't get the cutscene here on this gem.
Yeah, a small skip there. If you do a spin attack while in C right, he got the cycle, by the way, very nice. If you do a spin attack while in C right, you can actually clip through...
C left.
C left, might be. You clip through the peg, and you don't have to get the hammer, which is nice.
So there's a trick coming up soon called floating link glitch. And he's gonna you can activate it a couple ways. He's gonna activate it with an item here. So he's gonna jump, and then he's gonna switch to a link holding an item, and then he's gonna float there, and he's gonna throw the item at the top of the screen, which allows him to transition.
So this screen has a pretty cool strat, and it's the reason he didn't want to pick up that 100 gem earlier. So that bomb is going to explode, and it'll kill you. It's like the Nova bomb. It doesn't matter how much health you have. It'll kill you. But we haven't gotten the text that says you got 100 gem yet this level. So what he's going to do is he's going to pick it up with green, because on the JP version, that's how you get that text. And now we're invincible. So we're just going to chill, and boom.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Goron guy.
Yeah.
This screen's impossible to do fast. But the boulders are RNG, and this is a marathon, so you know.
We used to not have that hover there where you picked up the rock and you used to have to wait for the boulders.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
This trick that Z's about to do, the formation menu clip through the fire, used to not exist. So what we would do is carry a water pot from the very beginning of the level all the way to there. And it was really annoying, and we're very glad that we don't have to do it anymore.
I have clips where I stand there for like 90 seconds just waiting for a rock.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And if you initiate a hover, you immediately throw whatever item you're holding. So that's why we couldn't do it. All right, so this is the first Shadow Link fight with 4. It's random which one it is, of course. There's no tell, so it can be very annoying. Thankfully, he got it in the first 2 he hit.
There's going to be another owl cutscene trigger here. He's just going to jump slash right,
Yeah.
and you can just barely skip it.
I guess something to talk about, because it's going to be relevant in this boss fight too, is jump slashing. It's one of the, I believe, the only 2D Zelda with jump slashing.
Maybe? I don't know.
Anyway, it has jump slashing. The way you do it is you do like a smash input of stick and B at the same time. But it's it can be a pretty precise frame window to jump slash. So it's not impossible to fail jump slash and just do a regular slash instead.
A lot of people are kind of annoyed by it because it's just like slightly off from a smash attack and smash. So like a lot of people try to do that and then just like slightly miss it.
Yeah. Alright, so on the second phase of this fight, there is a possibility of a 1 cycle if he can do a very well-timed jump slash.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. He comes right back. But yeah, that's 3-2. My personal favorite level in the run.
Really?
Yeah. Lots of cool stuff.
2018, shoutouts.
Tashiki 2018.
The next level, 3-3, is one of my least favorite levels in terms of the speed run. There's a lot of stuff to screw up. It's mostly my fault because I do a bunch of hard tricks that you don't need to do.
Yeah.
It looks really cool when it nothing goes wrong.
So something to know about this fire is the hitbox where it actually disappears before the like animation for it does.
Yeah,
So
you'll
it looks
see him
like
rolling through stuff.
He can roll a little earlier than it looks like.
In this next room, he's going to roll through one with a little bit differently. He's going to start with green link, and then he's going to roll, and then he's going to do a C right formation, and that just barely allows you to clip past it.
I like how it took you 100 times longer to explain than it did
to actually do it.
And using the boomerang to pick up gems, pretty useful. So here is going to be another FMC roll. Nice.
Wow. He makes it look so easy.
Yeah. This is the first wall-less gap skip. Basically, by throwing and jump slashing across a ledge, you can set Purple's respawn position to be on the other side.
And positioning is actually really important there. You might think you want to get as close to the ledge as possible to do it, but you actually don't. If you're right next to the ledge, lots of the times it won't work.
Yeah.
So you actually want to be just slightly off.
Yeah, you can, but you're just making things harder for yourself if you're next to the ledge. So I guess something to talk about is we actually skipped Pegasus or Rock's Feather entirely in this stage. It's supposed to be one of the big things in this stage is getting Rock's Feather and jumping over a lot of stuff. But
it's another one of those auto-scroller tile screens, so it's fairly important to skip it.
Yeah, and just by calling the links over, you can skip that entire skip needing Rock's Feather on that screen.
This screen is going to be using a lot of invulnerability by sacrificing his friends.
Yeah, and something you saw is he jump slashed and went across the fire bar there. When you jump slash, you actually do gain a very small amount of height. So it's precise, but you can jump slash over the fire bars.
Oh, that's actually kind of bad.
I've never actually done that before.
He was trying to drop his links there to pick up those gems as he rolled off, but he went a little bit too
There's
fast.
the gem fountain in the room before Dodongo's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the gem riding is fairly tight on this stage.
Yeah, missing 150, which is what we would have picked up there, is kind of bad. There is a backup, though, so no need to worry.
Also, in the bottom right corner there, on the switches, there's actually pots there. They're
yeah,
invisible.
there's invisible pots. Which means
Japanese version is really good.
every glitchless run immediately ends when you go to that room. Alright, so this Shadowlink fight, if the real one is in the first two, it's not too bad, but otherwise things can get kind of bad. Thankfully it was.
Can't see him.
Oh my god. I've never seen that before. This is a crazy 3-3.
Right next to the pot, that's convenient.
Actually, do you even need to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so we wouldn't normally get this, but because he missed the gems on that screen, you'll be fine with the
Yeah,
20s.
yeah.
This guy's owning me. All right.
All right, so next is Z's favorite boss, the Dodongos. These guys just do whatever. You're supposed to put the bombs in their mouth.
Wow, that was such an insane
Yeah.
good phase.
They don't normally open up that quickly, but you just have to wait for them to. And they like to spread out too to make it hard for you.
There are times where it's so bad that one of them will die when you've only bombed one of the other ones like once.
And then that happens.
And then that happens.
Where the collision on putting it in their mouths can be bad.
Because sometimes there'll just be one of them left for like 30 seconds, and it's just painful. Like this guy.
Come on, bud. I believe.
Yeah, like this.
There we go. That wasn't too bad.
Definitely seen worse.
Yeah. And another formation menu clip roll, everyone's favorite. This is the skip and owl text.
Ooh. It's so hard for those because lots of areas you can do it and it's just fine, but those ones, if you mess it up once, you can take knockbacks. So like you have to do it perfect.
Yeah, and about half of those my runs, I think I missed that. Yeah.
So a pretty good 3-3. The gem thing was kind of unfortunate, but it wasn't too big of a deal. Donations would be good now.
All right, we have a $50 donation from Sammy K. Legend of Zelda 4 Swords holds a lot of positive memories for me. I played this game all the time as a kid and was something that let me play with my mom, the person who has been the biggest support in my life and the first person to really get me into gaming. I never knew there were so many cool ways to skip through the game. So here's a big thank you to Zmaster91 from the front row for bringing such a cherished game to SGDQ and absolutely slaying it.
You're welcome. Thanks for
Hi.
the donation. I'm glad to hear people play this game, because usually it's pretty tough for people to get together to play it with all the extra things that you need.
So right here, he's going to pick up Marin, and there's something cool you can do on the screen. If you go into a C-up formation and charge your sword, you can actually block these flames. I have no idea why.
Yeah, this is a professional Malon escort.
The only one that it doesn't work with is purple for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, you saw purple got hit there, and like, it's the only one it doesn't work for.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a trick here. You can actually skip over this cutscene trigger by jump slashing. I think it's the only one in the game like this. And then if you go in the house, Malon kind of freaks out. How you doing, Malon?
I've never seen
Don't
that.
soft lock. So if you can actually soft lock if you activate the cutscene trigger while Malon's on the other side of the house, because she'll be walking to her father, but she'll just be walking against the house for eternity.
Yeah. So during this next section, you get a carrot, which allows you to summon a horse. And you might think that we want to use the horse right here because it's so fast to get through the section, but we actually want to save it. So you're going to see him going through this section. It's really important that he doesn't drop it. So he's going to be trying to throw red over all these walls while keeping blue out of the enemy's way.
And if you die in this game, you do drop whatever you're holding, so we need to be mindful of that too. And if he touches the carrots that you see on the ground, it activates horses, which will make him drop it as well. So there's a lot to be careful about here.
But now he's going to show you the real use for the horses in this stage, which is, of course, to kill Gomez.
See you later, Gomez. You just run him over with your horse. You're supposed to get the bow. There's a big quest in this part of the stage to get bow. You can just run him over.
It's a big skip, by the way.
Yeah, that saves several minutes.
Excuse me,
Forgot
sir.
how
I hope
silly
you
that
don't mind
was.
wildlife in your house.
So again, you'll notice that we're pretty low on gems, and we're nearing the end of the level, so you might be wondering what we're going to do. You also might see that nice 1,000 gem right there. So if you can put two and two together, we're gonna dupe it.
Nice.
I don't know how that works.
Could you see the queue?
But yeah, I looked like I was too far away, but
Okay. Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah. The queue for that is very specific, and it's hard to see on some TVs.
Yeah. I guess we can mention that you may have seen Tingle appear on some screens. If he tries to pick up that 1,000 gem, he actually like fails, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can't pick it up. Another cool thing about 1,000 gems is on the PAL version only, we talked about combo gems earlier. If you get a combo of, I think, 80 plus on the PAL version, you can actually get 1,000 gems to rain down from the sky. And that's PAL exclusive, so, you know, maybe there's some Europeans who have some experience with that, I don't know.
So if you live in Europe and you own this game, free world record.
So this is the first gem soldier fight.
Yeah.
The 4 gems they're story items. They don't actually do anything. But they do make another cutscene. You can probably fire off a donation or two now.
All right, we have a $100 donation from Paul220. I had no idea that Four Swords Adventures was this bonkers. Every couple minutes I hear, so here's a trick, Ald. Anyway, thanks to the organizers and all the runners for raising all this money for a great cause. We also have a $20 donation from Shy Ranger. Those big rocks look pretty heavy. I think you should try Force.
Thank you.
So we get the nice shiny blue gem, which does nothing. We're actually going to be skipping one of them later.
I mean, it does something. You just don't have to actually have it.
Yeah, it does something in the story. It's a lore item. The swamp?
The swamp.
Oh boy, is it time.
The swamp?
So if you're in chat, I have one request to make of you. So I need you to first hit that caps lock key, and then I want you to type out the 2 words, the swamp, with a space between each letter. So T space, H space, E space, etc.
The swamp?
The swamp.
The swamp?
The swamp.
The swamp.
There is a way to skip this, Al, but it's hard and usually not faster.
The swamp is notorious for being a level that you can just lose
Yeah,
crazy
swamp
amounts
is a
of
big
time.
run killer. So coming up, it's actually going to be the final GBA OOB of this run. It's also the most annoying one because it's on a Nova Bomb screen.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait this cycle. If you get a first try, you can barely beat it.
This is what this usually looks like.
Okay.
Okay, not bad.
You
not
should
bad
make
at
this
all.
cycle.
I'm
No.
not gonna try it.
I think he could have in theory,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
yeah.
I'm just not used to that.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. So now we're up on here. The tiling is messed up. And you can go down here and spawn here and skip a couple of rooms. It's
Yeah.
a nice little skip.
Whoops.
Oh,
Hold on. I need to go back inside. Get out.
wait, what
Okay.
happened?
I just forgot to call them back in the QP
Oh,
screen.
okay, I see.
If you leave Link stuck in a wall, you're not going to be able to use your reunite button because weird things are going to happen.
And he breaks those blocks without actually falling on them, which allows him to skip a good portion of the screen. Saves a couple seconds.
I guess we should also just point out that you can like break blocks with drop slashes like that, because that'll actually be important later on.
So there was a fast cycle on this screen with the lily pads, and making it and grabbing the gems is quite difficult. Oh, nice.
Nice.
This sword fight is actually really interesting because if you kill the main guy, everyone dies. It's the only one in the game that's like that. We don't know why.
4 red gems there is pretty good.
Yeah.
Gem RNG actually matters there.
Yeah. And this is lily pad 1 skip. It feels very random, but it's position based. There we go. It's pretty precise.
Another instance where you don't actually want to be right next to the ledge, otherwise it'll kill you.
You want to be like a few pixels back. This is a swamp double jump. We don't know why they work. I don't know why they work. He
I don't
doesn't know why they work.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he knows why they work.
If you can't judge from my reactions, these are all really hard to do first try, so...
Oh.
Epic.
Okay, well, here's a skip that's very rare to try. Hold on.
Nice.
Oh my
nice.
god.
We don't do that.
That's
so-
not a trick you do.
Another swamp jump here.
Oops.
Yeah.
It's kind of important where you place your links for this trick. That's like one of the only things we know about it.
Do you know how many frames you have to jump off of the water? Is it 1? Or?
It's not one.
It's not
I
that
don't
precise.
know.
It's more important when you throw the link as opposed to when you jump, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And when you have to reunite on the swamp, and the
Right.
timing for that is also kind of precise. So there's a lot of inputs that go into that.
I think the biggest thing is when you throw the link. You want to throw them at like the peak of the
Yeah,
jump-ish.
yeah, you're right. Coming up is going to be Brawlhalla Part 1. So there's an attack this boss can do, and we just really hope he does it.
We got it in the practice.
Yeah, I
room,
got it in the
so-
practice.
Oh,
Practice
did
room.
you?
Yeah.
Okay, that brings the counter up to like 11 or something.
Yes, this guy doesn't have any HP. You just have to hit him a certain amount of times. Nice.
Ah, too bad.
So he has a flamethrower attack that's very rare. I said the counter is up to 11. That's how many times the entire community has seen him use that attack.
It just wastes time. It's actually
Yeah.
really bad, but we all love it anyways.
Yeah. 2018 gems.
Wow, this is the run.
He hasn't gotten caught yet.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's
Well,
true.
Yeah. 4-3 coming up is actually a really interesting level because it's one of 2 that has absolutely no glitches. It's all movement.
He's actually doing like frame perfect drop slashes there, I think.
Yeah,
I think they're frame perfect. I
I
don't know
think
if they're that tight.
they're precise.
It's completely useless, but it's cute, so.
So the beginning for 4-3, your movement has to be very tight to not get caught by the searchlights.
There's a running joke in the community that if you get caught by the searchlights, it's an automatic world record.
Gem routing in 4-3 is also very tight. One of the tightest gem routes in the run.
For a second there, I thought you were going to be a little bit late on that 300. That would have
so
been
too.
really bad.
That would be basically... I guess we should talk about what happens if you don't have 2,000.
Yeah.
So if you don't have 2,000 gems and you're at the end of the level, you go to... you do what's called back in time. If you watched the Skyward Sword run last night, that's where we stole it from. But what it is it sends you back to the beginning of the level with your current gem count, but you lose everything else. So
it's not always the start of the level either. Sometimes it's just some random screen.
Yeah, and you get sent back to the gem barrier when you hit 2,000. It's
neat little jump slash here.
Yeah. So you want to avoid back in time. There used to be a route in some levels that used back in time because there just weren't many gems available, but that's been obsoleted.
So this is more the boring part of the stage. We just need to get the bow. It's just sort of a collection quest. One thing is he can't beat the cycle, so yeah.
I guess an interesting thing about
that was pretty fast.
Yeah. An interesting thing about 4-3 is there's actually something you can do called actor glitch, which despawns every actor. So you basically, including the links themselves, so you have to play through the level while invisible. And a few people have done it just for the heck of it, including me. It's not very fun, but you know, that's life.
There's a set path you need to walk here. We obviously just know it. Normally you'd use the arrow on the buttons to light the path, but it's pretty simple.
And a very cool strat here to light these 3 arrows, switching between the links quickly.
So next he's gonna get a key, and then he's gonna do some fancy stuff with putting links next to walls so that he can drop them and have links pop up where he wants them to. So you notice the green link ran into the torch, which warps him immediately to where you are, but the other links still trail at their normal speed. And so you can use that to cut distances short. There's lots of really small movement tech like that in this game.
So gems are good. And we're going into Jalhalla Part 2. This fight is pretty boring. You just light up the 4 torches and then hit it, and then go to hit the core.
There is one funny glitch where you can get eaten and not eaten at the same time, but it's not really. You see it every once in a while.
Yeah. I guess an interesting thing is the core actually works on a hit count. All you need to do is hit it 3 times. So he's going to do pokes because those can hit on the first frame every time.
I really don't want to get caught by a spotlight there, or he blows out all the torches. And
Yeah.
It takes a really long time for him to stop.
One more cycle. Oh.
Ooh.
Also, if you get hit by this guy, you lose 50 gems. And since the gem routing in this level is so tight, usually you have to go back in time after that.
Pray for good gems. This is the worst gem drop in the game.
Yeah, so when gems...
Wow, that was really good.
Really good gem spread. Yeah, when gems fly out of a boss like that, the spread is random. So a lot of time you have to react on how the best way to pick them up is.
And just in that room with like the pillar in the middle and how it's laid out and where you kill him, like you almost always get terrible gem drops there. Any blue fans? Is that blue or white? I don't know.
That's light
Well, there is
blue.
a blue, so yeah.
Oh wow, we got blue fans. Well, okay. Right. Yeah, you could probably do a donation or two right now.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Red Link. Tired of Green Link always getting all the glory while pushing the rest of us around? Well, I've had enough. So I'm telling everyone to donate now to stand up for Link's rights. This donation goes to naming Link Red Link in the Legend of Zelda run. We also have a $50 donation from Midoriki How fortunate of me to tune into the foremost speedrunning event in time to see the heroes of the great Fortitude in Four Swords Adventures. Please forgive all the puns.
I love them. So
Yeah, keep them coming. So 5-1 is a pretty unique level in that it's one of the only levels that we basically skip all of, but don't have a very convenient source of gems. So this level's a lot of gem collecting.
we call this gem here the Forbidden Gem because it's not in the player's guide, so it's actually banned in glitchless.
The Wizrobe spawns are random. You want them to spawn all right next to each other so you can kill them in one jump slash.
Don't these guys know anything about forest fires?
I've never seen that Wizrobe spawn inside the door.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
same.
was crazy.
So another gap skip there. This is the big skip. You were supposed to use that key to open a door that lets you get to Pegasus, or Rock's Feather, to jump over that gap. But if you can do a gap skip, you don't need it. And that means we can carry the key through the rest of the level and use it somewhere else.
And we're just going to do a formation hover back. It's pretty self-explanatory, I guess.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory, IMO.
You just have to line up against the wall and do that.
Yeah. This screen's actually pretty unique because it's one of the only screens where gems will disappear if they're out on the field for too long. And this is the closest we push gems to disappearing. You can see they start fading out right here.
Yeah, especially if you get one of them knocked off to the left side of the screen, then it's just,
Yeah.
it can be really bad.
Or if you make a movement mistake in like the GBA screen.
Yeah, yeah.
You can also notice now that the music is all messed up. It's the music that was when you were in the underworld, I guess. And that happens when I picked up the item and left, like immediately afterwards, because the jingle didn't stop playing yet, and it never switched over the tracks.
Yeah. In theory, Z could go to the end of the level right now, but we need gems.
Uses the bomb here to lure these bees.
Not the bees.
Not
the
the
bees.
bees.
And then there's these hands on these screen that pull you down, but if you go in a formation,
Yeah.
you can actually just stun them.
And this rock is also RNG on how many reds it gives you. You want to get as many reds as possible.
Yeah, so you notice that he got 2 links on each side. That meant he got fewer hits on the rock, so he actually got kind of bad gems here.
Should be fine.
Yeah, I think I can get the 150
Okay.
at the end.
Normally you would get like way more gems to drop, but it's still random whether or not they're red gems, which are the ones you want, so.
Do you need to light the bushes?
Thanks.
It's fine. We've all been there. There's way too much in this game.
Oh boy, a shovel.
You're pretty familiar with those.
Isn't Shovel Knight just Blue Link?
Yeah. This was how they got the idea.
Kings were purple. So, you know, King Knight's purple Link.
So that's where he went.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember where this is. It's been like years since I got this 150.
There's like a little dip in the wall. It's near there, yeah.
This is the gem I get because I'd never learned the new round.
Yeah, it's pretty uncommon that you have to get that gem. Generally, it's because of bad RNG or messing up the rock.
Also, sometimes where you dig is really, really stupid. Like, you'll go to dig and they'll like dig behind them, and it just makes no sense.
Also, when you get the powered up sword, you can do the hurricane spin, which is useless but fun.
Hey, it has one use.
Yeah, it's not useless.
Oh my god. Yes, it is.
I mean, you could use it for skipping 6-3, sort of.
What?
Can't you use the hurricane spin to do like to get across the gap?
I don't know.
On the top
Anyway,
right.
5-2. There's an owl skip at the start.
I mean, it's
here.
irrelevant, but
Oh no, what happened to the village of the Blue Maiden? Oh wait, this is the wrong village. My bad.
So here's an FMC. This is another trade quest type level, but we're just going to skip everything by doing a formation menu clip. All right, see you level.
yeah. This level is actually really convenient too, because most levels you have to go throughout them and to get all the gems, but in this level, for whatever reason, they decided to put like 2,000 gems right at the end of the level, which is super convenient for us.
So this is my least favorite Shadow Link fight in the game, because you go into these dark holes and you have to play hide and seek.
That is the official term used in the FSA community, by the way. Anytime
Oh
a Link
my
goes
God.
into a hole, it's hide and seek.
These guys are amazing.
And that's why you just...
It's pretty common to die here when you get unlucky. You don't have any items, which is normally what you would use to stun them.
Yeah, that's why it's the worst one in my opinion. You just can't stun them. All right, it was that one. It wasn't the one who went in the other hole. That's very fortunate.
Yeah, if he wasn't it, I would have to get out and go to the other hole.
And this is why you want to hit them when they're raising their sword. They
Yeah.
just block everything.
What you can do is pick up the other links and throw it at the Shadow Link, but that's kind of slow. That would stun the Shadow Link.
So you see during this river section, there's just so many gems.
Yeah, this is what Dan was talking about.
Yeah, we get pretty lucky with the levels that we skip like entirely have a lot of gems kind of just on the way.
Yeah, the only exception really is 5-1.
Yeah, the last level that we did.
He did a little C left there, just to... It makes that gem consistent. Like, you'll usually get it anyways, but if you do C left, you jump off quicker, so you get it every time.
I didn't actually know that. I don't know what I've been doing. Another Gem Soldier fight, or Jewel Soldier fight here. Something we need to mention about these, or I don't think we've touched on this at all actually, is when you get the level 2 sword, your sword does power up, you deal more damage. So you can get a much faster kill on these Gem Soldiers when you have level 2 sword. Yeah. Like, that would not have killed if he didn't have power-up sword.
We can probably do a few donations here.
All right, we have a $20 donation from Anonymous. Really enjoying the Four Swords Adventure run. I have fond memories of playing this game back when it came out. I had no idea it was full of so many wonderful glitches. Seeing the links completely skip the village of the Blue Maiden was hilarious. And that was just the beginning. Good luck with the rest of the run and the rest of the event.
Thank you.
We also have a $150 donation from Karami. Greetings from Germany, first time donation. I just had to turn in during the Legend of Zelda game. Go Zmaster, the swamp.
I guess this would be a good time to give shoutouts to like Yadra.
Yeah, shouts to the German FSA community.
Yeah, and Toads as well.
Yeah, they're two really good German runners and testers of this game.
Yeah, Yadra is second place in this game. You're third, right?
Yeah, but we're basically tied.
Yeah, it's like the same time. I was just making sure you
Yeah.
didn't beat her.
Yeah.
But she's second place in this game, and she's found a lot of the tricks in the game.
Yeah.
When she came into the community was basically when the game started changing dramatically.
Yeah.
And she also works on the tasks of this game, which is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, currently the task is arguably nearing completion. It's been worked on for a while, but it's really good work. You should absolutely check it out.
It's more or less the best of single player and multiplayer, plus some other stuff that you just wouldn't see otherwise.
There's a lot of task-only stuff in this game. So 5-3 is another personal favorite level of mine. I think you also said it was one of your favorites.
I hate this stage.
Oh, okay.
I've lost too many runs to this stage to like it.
Starts off pretty simple, just getting the key for this key block. But the next game's going to be kind of complicated. You need to push around this house. But in order to push around this house, you have to make it aerodynamic and blow up holes in the house. So he's going to throw a bomb here to do this first one. And he did a gap skip to get purple down to the bottom and hit these 4 switches.
And the timing he did it was kind of important because you have downtime while that bomb's exploding, so you just go get the hammer. Or you get the switches.
Yeah, you get the switches while the bomb timer's going off. So now that we've blown up 2 holes in it, we can move around the house. Also, I don't know why we call it the house. It's not a house. It's just a block.
I mean, that one guy's
Isn't that
in
where
there.
the Deku Scrub lives?
He doesn't live. He's just there.
You don't know that.
He probably says on the English version, like, I don't live here.
I've never played the English version, so. So he's going to do a skip. After he pulls these switches, if you go into C left formation and stand at the very bottom of the screen, you can get it to like sort of mess up your respawn area, so it'll send you all the way back to the left.
Ooh, good gem rain there. A lot of 20s on the 100 fell where you could get to them.
Perfect.
Flawless.
Every time, these guys.
So coming up is going to be the Slingshots Gift. There's some switches on this next GBA screen you need to hit with Slingshot, but you can just jump slash to them, or to this one, and then hit the other ones from the side. It saves a very small amount of time because the Slingshot's right there. You can see it on screen.
Yeah, mostly we just want to keep the hammer.
Yeah. All right, and this is the bigger skip in this level. It's I'll let Z focus because this one can be kind of tricky, but it's this key skip. Well done.
Good
so,
job. That can
yeah.
be hard.
So that trick, the way it works is you do a C left hammer and you hit that peg from off the platform. And what that allows you to do is to throw a link onto that top platform without having to use a key. This key right here, which will allow us to carry the key further into the level, further than intended.
And he actually got really bad luck there. Like the guys with the swords went like right in front of where he needed to be.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen all the time, so that's pretty bad luck. But he dealt with it really well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not much to this room, but there is one thing in this room that you have to be really careful of. And I don't know why this is a mechanic in the game, but when you're picking up pots, you can actually hit a switch by picking up a pot.
The picking up animation actually has like a very small hitbox on it. You have
So dumb.
you almost have to try to do it, but it can happen on accident.
And so he just has to be careful right here when he's picking up this pot
Yeah.
that it doesn't have the switch, and that's... I don't know why that's a thing.
Yeah, this game has a lot of odd stuff. So now we have 2 keys. You're only supposed to have 1 key right now, so we're gonna use one on that door and get through this room. And then you're supposed to do another side quest here, but you can just use the other key that we saved from the other room, skipping that whole quest. So this room's really sick. He's going to be doing a freeze clip in it to skip lighting some of the lamps, and also to clip through a wall like that.
Normally you would have to just go down to all the corners of the room.
And one final skip in this next room is going to be called Bumper Guy Skip. Do these guys have a real name? Who cares?
No, it's just bumper guy skip.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an extended gap skip across the entire room. Whee! And land on the top platform.
It looks really easy, but it's actually kind of difficult
Yeah.
because the timing on it is kind of precise. And on top of the timing, if you just roll straight up, it won't exactly work, so you kind of have to do a roll up and diagonally left, which if you mess up, you can just roll left.
The initial positioning of Brad is also fairly precise.
Right.
So there's no problems with one cycling Phantom getting 2. He just dies.
Can you take 2 cycles?
Yeah, eventually.
Can
you?
Eventually he gets back up, but it takes him a while.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Pretty much.
This is the most important trick in the game.
Yeah.
So he's going to charge up the Hurricane Slash, and he's going to send a link diagonally. And he's going to use it to skip this fairy cutscene.
That trick saves -3 seconds.
It doesn't actually. It's about the same speed.
It's about even. I just really don't like it, so I pretend it doesn't save time.
And I'm the one who found it, so I always tell everybody to do it.
I mean, it looks cool.
It's the only use for Hurricane Spin, which is why everybody sort of, well, not everybody apparently, but most people are pretty fond
I go
of it.
for it. I just fail it, and I'm sad. Anyway, Red fans,
You're
wrong.
objectively wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. And here's why. Red's text is different than all the other ones. She stops and starts talking throughout the entire conversation. And it's really annoying, and it really hurts her hands, because you can never stop mashing, because we're all too dumb to memorize when to start and stop mashing.
Basically.
Pretty much.
I think we have time for donation, though, Sakura.
Yeah, probably one or two.
Perfect. Well, we have a $10 donation from Adam the Feverish. Geez, all these puns are really bad in form. Sorry, here's some money. And we have a $30 donation from Anonymous. Well, excuse me, princess.
Yep.
So World 6 is arguably the hardest world overall in the run in terms of the difficulty of the 3 levels, the average difficulty of them. It's a pretty notorious run killer. World 6 doesn't have any big tricks, but it does have a lot of...
It's a pretty big skip in 6-3.
Yeah, but this level does have a lot of smaller things that will definitely add up over time. To start off, there's a cool trick. You can push this block the wrong way. Saves a couple seconds, probably like a second, actually.
You can actually do it a certain way where it just like keeps kicking up dust, and it like can create more and more lag, and you can use that to crash the game.
Yeah, it's the only way we know how to crash this game on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah, we've gotten some random crashes. Or like, I think we've gotten like one random crash ever that I know of.
Yeah. It's actually important how fast he goes on the stage, because there's this cycle with the portal in the top right corner, and if you miss it, you waste a couple seconds. So it's actually kind of important that he does everything correctly here. Also, boots are like the best in this game, by the way, because you can move any direction while using them.
And they're about the same speed as rolling, for anyone who might be wondering. Are they faster? I actually don't know.
They're the same speed.
They're the same speed? Okay. I knew they were roughly the same speed. I wasn't sure if they were exact or not. So Z did make the cycle
Yeah,
on this
he made the
platform,
cycle.
which is good, because it wastes a lot of time, like 15 seconds maybe. Maybe not that much, but a lot of time.
We're going to use another version of floating link glitch. This one's really easy. All you have to do is jump / certain objects that give you recoil, and then you have to keep moving. If you stop moving, you lose it, but as long as you keep moving, you just keep floating.
Yeah. And coming up is going to be the final gem dupe of the run. This one's actually incredibly easy because there's a setup for it that involves bonking on the tree. So he just will bonk. Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
Hello?
I
never seen
definitely
this.
jinxed it.
Whatever, that's good.
Yeah, that's enough. So here's a more typical floating link glitch. He bonks to get height, and then switches to red while he's in the air. And when a
Yeah.
link's holding an item in the air, they can't fall. You might be wondering why you don't see that more throughout the run, but it's because the collision for pits still extends upwards. It's just because this level has those trap doors. Floating link glitch won't activate those.
What are walls?
I don't know. I don't know here either.
Yep. See you later, wall.
Great puzzle.
That like only works with red, right?
Any link that's
Any
not
link.
green.
I thought that didn't work with green. He's gonna do a cool trick here where
This
you
is
can
double
get a
bonk.
double bonk with the boots.
And that allows you to skip pretty much all of that room. I guess something to talk about is the intended way to do this level. In this game, you can upgrade your items to level 2 by visiting the Great Fairy. And the level 2 Pegasus Spirits allow you to float over ledges.
I
But yeah.
genuinely didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know. I knew that level 2 did. I didn't know that's how you did this stage.
Yeah, you're supposed to get LT boots in this stage. And that's how you're supposed to do a lot of that stuff. But thankfully we can skip it. We can actually skip every item upgrade in this run now, which is very nice. This Shadow Link fight generally isn't too bad because they drop bombs on you, which you can use to blow them up. Sometimes it does get out of hand though because they can go inside of the caves. Thankfully that didn't happen here.
Here's another section where powered up sword matters. If you don't have powered up sword, the Pegasus boost charge won't kill those skeletons, so it saves a little bit of time.
We have time for a donation or two during this cutscene.
We have a $25 donation from Blue Link 42. I don't know why Red Link is trying to claim all the fame. I, Blue Link, am just as awesome as Red, and definitely more than Green. Money goes to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker to make the file name Blue Link. We also have a $25 donation from Zimzal. Gotta give it up for Purple Link. He has been the most work out of all 4 of them.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Purple Link because he didn't even get to show up in Triforce Heroes.
I would also like to point out at this point that Red Link is also objectively the worst. Because he has really dumb mechanics in this game that none of the other Links have.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to admit it, but you're pretty much right.
Yeah, I mean...
There used to be a glitch like 4 years ago that involved Red Link, kind of like the floating link glitch we did here. But on this one screen, he would just randomly fail it for some reason, every so often. It was really annoying. And he got the nickname Jeff, because I don't know. Sorry if your name is Jeff.
So in 6.2, there's going to be a trick near the start called Ninja Turtle Clip that I guess we can start explaining now.
Okay.
Okay, that's...
So there's a blue turtle, we call him Leonardo, hence Ninja Turtle Skip. And after, it's a really position-based trick, so what he has to do is he has to set the links up in a certain spot, and then based on where Leonardo is, he has to flip him over, and then he has a few hits. You can only hit him a couple times before he dies.
You can poke him 3 times.
Yeah. And it's actually a really skill-based, like it shows how much you practice the game doing that skip, because based on where he is, you have to use different pokes from different directions on different sides of Leonardo. And if you get him in just the right spot, you can use C left to clip into this key block.
There is a backup. That,
yeah,
exactly.
Right there. First try, wow.
That trick, it's one of the tricks that I think new runners struggle with a lot.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of practice because you have to figure out all the different distances, and also him being against the wall will change how far you send him, so you have to practice for all
that
those.
That trick also functions differently on the English version, which we actually didn't know until a runner named BlueInfinity22 started learning, and he could not get this trick. I mean, we wondered why, so we looked into it and we realized, oh, wait.
This is so unlucky.
Yeah, actually, this is...
All right, we're good.
And then we realized, oh, wait, this just doesn't work on the English version. It does, but you have to do it differently. That's what we found out.
Yeah, the Igor there, is that their name? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
The Igor there followed him really, really long time. And so it followed him back to the switch when we generally just lead him away.
Also, I don't think we actually talked about what Ninja Turtle Clip does. It skips, it's another key skip. You're supposed to use that key for a key block in that room.
It's actually kind of sad because I feel like the room that you skip, like while Ninja Turtle Clip is also very good, that room's like, feels really good to do fast.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is a slow room, so.
Speaking of slow rooms, this is arguably, it's in the running for one of the worst rooms in the game. You have to light all the torches, and bow mechanics and hitboxes don't work properly a lot of the time.
There's also a really cool mechanic where if you light the furthest rightmost set of torches last, you just don't light one of the torches.
Yeah.
So you have to shoot 2 arrows.
Very well done by Z, though. Uses a C left arrow shot, one of the only combat applications of C left right there.
I still have a theory that C left is the best formation for combat, but I'll never be able to prove it.
Because you never play the game.
Yeah. It's also actually really good for movement in the task, but we can't really do that RTA.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not until I get my Elon Musk robot hands.
This is a friendly reminder to throw your friends. So normally you'd kill him with the bow and it's really slow, but you can just throw links and he dies in 2 hits.
So this is probably the second worst Shadow Link fight behind 5-1 or 5-2.
I think it's the worst personally. But
you can stun 2 right away with the bow, which is why I think it's not as bad personally.
So this one, like, it's you can get 2 of them.
Nice.
But if you don't get one, they can waste way more time on this stage because of how the Dark World is laid out.
Thankfully, he did get good RNG, though.
Because the Dark World on this one is split into 3 different sections,
Yep.
and they can jump back and forth between all the different sections. I believe that's where the hide-and-seek term originated.
Yeah, hide-and-seek started here. Um, 6-3. Sure is a level.
This is another stage that really shows how much you practice, because like there's a trick that it's hard. It's not crazy hard, but if you practice it a lot, you tend to get it a lot more often.
Yeah, this is the trick where if you practice, you get it, and if you don't practice, you spend 25 minutes trying to get this on your blind, or on your haven't played the game in 4 months New Year's Eve race.
Yeah, I think I spent like 15 minutes the last time I was here.
Yeah, same. Well, actually,
Oh yeah, that was a race.
Yeah, well, we did a race on New Year's Eve. It's a little bit of a tradition that we forget to do a lot of the time. We do a race on New Year's Eve.
So we lost like half an hour between us on this one trick, but hopefully it'll go really smoothly.
But then once you practice it a bit more, it should be first try every time.
Are you going to get the 1 cycle?
Yeah, there's a new piece of tech here. One of the newer things in the run called a 1 cycle Nova Bomb screen. He can still maybe get it.
That's pretty slow.
I might die, but we'll see. It'll be close for sure.
Nice.
Wow, he got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that allows you to skip a Nova Bomb cycle. And the movement to do that is, like I said, pretty new. So 6-3 has another major trick in it called early bombs. They're basically, the way 6-3 works is it's sort of like a big oval, and there's another oval inside of that oval. And the goal of the level is to get to the inside of that oval. But we're going to just do a glitch to get inside of it.
Yeah, there's 4 different rooms that you have to do. We only go into 1.
Yeah, because we need Slingshot to set up the clip. So the way this works is we're going to lure this Gibdo here, who has a name. What's his name? I forget.
I don't think we have a name
I don't
for
think
him.
we have a name for him.
Okay, I thought we did. Anyway, that's not the point. We're going to lure him over to where purple, red, and blue are right now, and get him stuck in that position using Slingshot.
That was really good.
Yeah, he can stall you for a while.
He didn't walk down. It was good.
Okay, that's good. And when enemies are stunned like that, they count as actors. So you can get Link clipped into a wall.
I would have been amazed if you got that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that was going to work.
And by doing some precise formation menus and formation menu clips,
I missed
Yeah,
the
that's
part.
bad.
you can get clipped inbounds. Thankfully, it's really quick to set up. Again, if you fail it. In the
This
way
one's
he
actually
is.
kind of hard because you have to roll while doing it.
Yeah.
And so
There we go.
for this, you have to press BY. And so pressing the buttons, one thing you'll sort of learn about this game if you're learning to run it is that there's all sorts of weird hand positions on the GameCube controller that you have to sort of get used to.
Yeah. Claw grip is just the beginning.
Yeah, claw grip is pretty common, and then you'll just see all sorts of other stuff with like left pinky on the analog. Like some of them I have my left hand on the middle of the controller on both sides.
Yeah, I use like my palm to control the analog stick and like do this. It's pretty crazy. Especially with some of the older tricks that used to be in the run.
Yeah. I still miss that hover.
I don't.
Do you really?
Yeah, I really do. It was cool. I mean, it was awful, but it was cool.
So the Moldorn fight is pretty unique. He's going to be jump slashing the head, which gives him the floating link glitch. So as long as he keeps moving, he'll never get hit.
And as long as he hits the head with the spin slash.
Yeah, that too. So this fight's pretty tricky to do well.
He also wants to make sure he's getting the one that's further away from dead. So like, one of them will die quicker. So you see the one that's moving in wider circles now. He doesn't need to worry about that one as much. So he focuses on the one doing the smaller circles.
I'm so bad at this fight. I don't do any of that. I just hit him and hope they die. I can't believe I'm getting exposed on Twitch.tv.
I mean, you have a better time than I do, so.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
All around the Deku Scrubs, the Lynx chase the Force Gems.
Yeah.
Nice fight. Yeah, we can clap for that. So there's text here, and his current item is bombs. So he wants to try and, yeah. He dropped some bombs because it's A is the button you use to do that. Ideally, he wouldn't have dropped them, but it's not a huge deal. All right, so I want to know, where are the purple fans?
I'll clap for that.
All right, feel free to read some donations,
Yeah.
Sakura.
We have a $150 donation from Glenn Takashi, 17. Love seeing you crush Zelda games like this. Keep up the good work.
I guess a shout out. Shout outs to Z. Z is not just really good at this game, he's good at many, many Zelda games. He's the Oracle of Ages world record holder, I believe, right?
Yeah, Link's
Yeah.
Awakening.
Link's Awakening, and he has a very good time in Oracle of Seasons as well. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there. You can read a few more. This cutscene's pretty long.
We have a $20 donation from Ghost120. I played Four Swords Adventures with friends a lot when I was younger and never thought the game could make for such an amazing speedrun. I'm loving the showcase of skill here. Keep it going and good luck to Zmaster91 during the rest of the run.
Thank you. I forgot 7-1 is next.
I like 7-1. So 7-1 is a very scary level when your name is Zmaster91, because there's a trick in this level that only one person in the entire world is crazy enough to go for, and he
Toad
happens
does it,
to be the one who's playing the game right now. Toad used to, yeah, but
Did you not go for Snowball Skip?
no.
I went for Snowball Skip.
Okay, fine. There's a few people who have done it.
I mean, I never got it fast, but I still went for it.
I've saved time with it once.
Did you?
Yeah.
So there's a skip right at the start. If you are moving on the ice when you transition, you'll actually carry over some of that transition momentum. It was originally found as a soft lock, but Yadra later found that it was useful for the speedrun.
Yep. And who found the soft lock
Oh, I did.
in a run?
It's actually a pretty great video.
Yeah.
Because it's in another level, you'll see the transition, and then Purple Link just like goes flying off the screen slowly.
Yeah. I think all of us have had random soft locks in a run at some
Yeah.
point. I had one pretty recently where Phantom Gammon just stopped moving, and I couldn't kill him, and he couldn't kill me. It was
He's doing
pretty
the section
awesome.
backwards, by the way.
Yeah,
That's probably worth mentioning.
Yeah, yeah. So normally in the level you go get Fire Rod, but
Which is way up in the right corner.
yeah, you have to go through 3 or 4 rooms of movement to get it. It's quite a commitment. But he's going to be skipping it, and so in this ice level, Fire Rod's really important because you need it to melt the ice. But ice is also an actor, so if you remember, we can formation menu clip through actors.
He's also going to grab a medallion here. It's going to do a new... We haven't done it yet in this run, but it's going to be a really important skip. It's going to save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's even worth going to get it, which, as you can see, wasn't that fast.
Yep. All right, so here's going to be the first formation menu clip roll through the ice. Again, I'd like to remind you, every time he opens the menu, it's frame perfect to open it again. Nice.
Free.
Free.
This is a
Ooh.
good fight here.
That was a good positioning too, right?
Yeah.
So there's a setup to hopefully,
I don't
we'll
know.
see.
yeah, bomb all of these penguins.
Yeah,
So we
that
got
wasn't
most,
great.
yeah, but he got a good number of them.
Yeah, that was like half. If you do it right, you can get like 3 penguins left.
If you do it like perfect, I think they just all die.
Does it kill all of
Yeah,
them?
you can get it. It's very difficult though. So the roll back.
This one's a little bit trickier because obviously he can't have them all. He has to drop them first, basically, before he rolls, and then he has to reunite and then press
Alright.
Y again.
And this is the big one.
What a
First
god,
try!
dude. Yeah, that was just like 11 frame perfect inputs in a row. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Z, you're nuts.
Yeah. He always gets it first try, too. It's actually incredible.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I do runs and I fail that, a lot of times my wrist starts hurting and I just have to stop.
Do you have gems?
Yeah, I have to get these.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about these.
Also, it's time for everyone's favorite lobster, lobster on ice.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Nice. This is what we're talking about.
Oh, and something we forgot to mention about lobsters, if you hit the wrong color, all of the legs respawn,
Yeah.
which is great.
And now we can finally use this medallion, right?
Yep. So this is going to be dual skip. He's going to use the screen transition glitch that he used at the start of this level to get out of bounds. And then he's going to be maneuvering the side of the wall.
So you saw when we get to these sections, we get these really long swordsman cutscenes, and you might think you could just like clip through them, but most of the time there's actually is it an invisible wall there, or is there just no transition there?
There's no transition. It
Yeah,
disables
there's just
the
no
screen
transition. But
But-
throwing those medallions will actually unlock the
Yeah.
screen.
I think
for
the
you.
theory is the game puts the screen transition there when a cutscene happens,
Yeah.
and the game counts the medallion as a cutscene.
So it
that's
skips the
dual skip.
entire fight and the cutscenes. It's really big.
Yeah, that was a very good dual skip, by the way. That trick is definitely not trivial. I like 7-1. See you later.
7-2 is one of my personal favorite levels. It has a lot of little tricks here and there. It's another one where we skip the Great Fairy again, which you don't see in this run at all.
I kind of miss the old guard fight.
Yeah,
You used to have a
same.
level 2 fire rod, and it basically just shoots out 4 fire from every block.
So on the first screen here, Z's actually going to stand on 2 switches at once as green. If you look carefully there, green was on 2 switches, which skips pushing a statue.
FSA math. But the old guard fight was just so laggy, it was beautiful. He's going to do that switch trick again later in the stage 2 if you missed it. It's important that he doesn't go too fast there, because if you go too high up, the whiz ropes will change their spawn pattern. So you want to stay kind of close to the door.
This room is really cool. So you're supposed to throw bombs to destroy this ice floor. You can actually call the links over and just walk on it. Ooh.
That's
interesting.
pretty bad.
You could do like a counterclockwise with blue, couldn't you?
I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll try it. Why not?
Okay. Oh,
The improv.
almost. So that was completely improv, and he almost got every tile on there.
I can throw a bomb. No, I can't.
No, you can't. You're going to have to time it.
I'll just redo the room.
Yeah, it's probably best.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure why he fell there.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's what it's supposed to look like. So we get Fire Rod, which has a pretty cool mechanic where if you tap A, you get the fireballs that you just saw. But if you hold it, you get
Flamethrower.
like a flamethrower type thing, which will be useful a few times.
This
room-
this is a great screen.
Yeah, it's like they made the most annoying screen possible. It has bumpers that bump you around, bomb shoes that move randomly, and you need to hit 4 switches. And
On ice physics.
On ice physics. And every time you hit a bomb shoe, you lose gems. So you need to stop and collect them again. It's awful.
Also, all the switches are frozen over at the start.
Cool strat there. It's somewhat new. Throw the link across that gap. And we go into the Shadow Link fight. This one's pretty similar to the one at the very beginning of the run. He's going to hold Fire Rod while walking into the trigger. And at the beginning of the fight, all the Shadow Links will immediately be stunned because of that. This fight would actually be really bad if you didn't have an item, so I'm very grateful you do.
This platform in the next section, if you do go fast, you can make it in 1 cycle.
Yeah, you have to wait a really long time for this thing to go back down and up again.
So coming in is going to be the triple switch room. By carefully timing bombs and fireballs, he can hit all 3 of these switches very quickly. It looks very impressive when done well.
I thought that would have got it, but
Maybe.
Ah, too early.
Nice.
Nice.
The intended strat is just to time bomb throws, but you can detonate the bomb if you time a fireball.
This is another wall-less gap skip. This one's probably one of the more annoying ones, in my opinion, at least.
The way this works is when you pick up a pot, you get a little extension on your roll over a gap. So that's used to make it over through that gap. It was first try, thankfully. If you get stuck on that gap, it can take quite a while to get through.
The skip's really important to skip the level 2 fire rod too, because those question marks, you're supposed to use the fire rod to spawn like elevators.
It's like the cane in Link to the Past. I think that's how that works. Yeah. So this horde fight's pretty unique because you have fire rod. So you shoot a fireball down there and flamethrower up here. And yeah, you just kind of melt them.
I would say this is a screen that's really, really hard to do like really fast.
I would agree. Yeah, getting a very good fight here is difficult. And he should be good on gems. There's a gem fountain on this next screen.
It's time for FSA math round 2.
So what does 4 equal?
5.
Okay. I guess something worth noting is that Green's hitbox is actually slightly bigger than the other ones, so wiggling him between the two switches is a lot easier.
Is that how that works? I literally had no idea.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Z. I believe that was what you told me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
Typical
So-
FSA strat, nobody knows.
Here's a small tech skip by throwing the link over the trigger with Rock's Feather. And here we have about a minute-long cutscene if you want to do some donations.
Here's
Actually,
where we place
yeah.
all 4 gems we collected.
Look at that gem in the bottom right. Isn't that a lovely gem that we definitely got? But yeah, you can read a donation or two now.
Perfect. We have a $100 donation from Taylor C. This run is so fast, if you B-link, you're sure to miss it. Good thing you're 4 links. We also have a $50 donation from Snack. Nice to see Four Swords Adventures get the recognition it deserves.
Me too.
Oh, it's time for the best stage.
Yep.
If you're a fan of doors or footstep noises, you will love this level. What is this level, or is that the next level?
No,
it's
it's
the
this
next
one,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
So there is actually one cool thing. It's going to be right at the very start. This is one of the levels where you have to wait for a door to open. But in this level only, you can jump slash the door and go in instantly. We don't know why it only works in this one. Maybe the intern made it. I don't know.
If you need time to like go make, I know this run has been really fast paced. If you need time to like go make food or go to the bathroom, this is a really good time. It's like 90% doors.
He's not joking, by the way. Actually, he is. It's not 90%.
It's not 90%.
But it's a lot of doors. So I guess if we actually want to talk about this level is unique in that it has all the main screens are the 2D side-scrolling view, while the GBA screens are all the top-down view. This is one of, I mentioned earlier that 4-3 was one of 2 levels that was glitchless.
He skips a slingshot here.
This is the only skip in the level. You jump slash and then Skip's getting the slingshot. Skip's like a room or 2. Not really that big.
Yeah, it's not big.
But yeah, this level's mostly just about movement. But the 2D movement in this game is definitely not as interesting, or the side scroller movement is definitely not as interesting because you can't do formations.
There will be some interesting stuff later, but that'll be during the last level.
Yeah, yeah. It's a combination of 2D and this level just not giving you many tools.
This level does have my favorite boss, though.
Yeah, the boss is pretty neat.
It also has another thing that kills glitchless as a category.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had to think about it for a second.
Should we do a few donations?
Yeah,
while this is
yeah, you
going
could
on?
probably read
Yeah.
off a few. Oh,
All right, there's a $50 donation from Frisky Charizard. Enjoying the run. Here's to a great cause. I have a $25 donation from Piece of Hannah 1. Been trying to study for summer classes, but man, is it hard when there's an adorable chorus of Links on my TV. I love Zelda games, but unfortunately never got the chance to play through this one. So cool to see someone blast through it. Good luck, and thanks for this rad and entertaining study break.
You wouldn't think the chorus was good if you had to hear the old Dodongo skip.
yeah, Links in this game are pretty notorious for being, this game in general is pretty notorious among runners for being very loud. A lot of the time you have to change your stream settings when you play this game.
He was going for a frame perfect roll there. If you roll right when you get hit, you can cancel the knockback, but unfortunately.
This gem soldier fight's kind of cute. One of them is actually just a gem. The one on the bottom right, that's not a gem soldier. It's a nice little, I guess, joke put in by the devs.
So there's actually a small thing coming up here. So there's another ice wall you have to break, and for whatever reason, if you do it a certain way, it melts twice as fast right here. So you like break that pot and you get right on the corner and it melts really fast.
I just realized I never explicitly knew that. But like, I knew it, but I didn't, yeah.
I remember for the longest time I was like, why doesn't he just break both pots? It's so slow.
Yeah.
And then I actually looked at it and I was like, oh, that's really fast. Good RNG.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
I've never seen it that bad.
So there's a unique jump here. You're supposed to carry another Link across with you, but that's kind of slow. That jump, ooh.
First try.
Yeah, when you make that jump by yourself, that's actually a 3-frame jump. Definitely not trivial.
Everyone misses that a
Yeah,
lot.
everyone. Yeah, it's very common to fail that jump.
Okay.
You got the 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can probably do one in this room. Donation.
All right, I have a $10 donation from Hot Dork. Years after Four Swords came out, my buddies and I scrounged up a 4 GBA GC adapters from multiple GameStop locations for $1 a piece so we could play this co-op gem. I remember we were stuck on the horse level for hours because Steven was the one who found the power bracelet but never told anyone. Meanwhile, Zmaster just glitched over a fence to skip it. Thank you tons for showing off this game and bringing me back, all while promoting a great cause.
So this boss, the first part is going into these GBA screens to knock him down from the top. And then the second part, you need to hit him a couple times and then finish him with a down stab. It's a pretty simple boss, but again, it's a lot of reacting to RNG.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're going across that middle top section, one of the little guys will hit you and you'll just fall down. So it's good that that didn't happen.
That's one hit, two. Ooh.
This is really
Ooh.
good. What?
Very good RNG. And execution.
That's probably the best I've ever seen there.
Yeah.
He drops the links there just to get him to respawn quicker inside the thing.
So a fun fact is when you spawn there, you have the floating link glitch activated for some reason.
Yeah, so if you ever said you played through this game glitchless, you're an absolute liar. And you should feel ashamed.
Is that on every version?
I don't know.
I think
it is.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not Korean.
So I think World 8 is probably a fan favorite because it's a lot of the glitches are visual, and there's funny sounds and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
8-1 is probably one of the most popular levels to IO, or at least it was.
Back when people played this
Back
game.
before it was like insane, ridiculous.
Yeah. IL being individual level, in case you didn't know, which is just doing a run of one level. So here he's gonna jump slash between screens. This is actually JP only. Only works on the Japanese version. So 8-1 is where a lot of the time save from JP comes from. Some very convenient gems here. And another screen transition, and we get to see our boy, Lobster in the Sky.
Lobster in the Sky.
This is actually generally the least bad Lobster because
That's the best RNG you can get. All greens though, so that's kind of bad. The Lobster drops 5 gems, and those were all green, which means it should be fine, but that's not great luck. I guess he gives and he takes away. Oops.
Okay.
Okay, so we're giving some silence there because that's actually a really important hover. And if you miss that section there, you actually soft lock the game and you have to restart the stage.
I'll let you listen to this trick. So that skipped whole screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know gems?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
I actually don't know the numbers for this. This hover is actually like low key the hardest one. It doesn't look as impressive because it's such a short distance, but the screen transition's really awkward to do. Nice.
Oh, and he got the jump slash after.
Yeah.
I needed that or I was going to die.
Yeah. If you do a jump slash right after the transition with perfect timing, you won't fall. If you don't, you'll like fall and then you'll respawn on the cloud.
Alright, so one final trick, and it's going to be the Dodongo skip. Normally you kill these Dodongos like you did in 3-3. I'll let him line it up. Oh, okay, just going for it. And then a boss Dodongo spawns, and you have to kill him. But you can just kind of roll into the fire, die, and hopefully...
Yeah, that positioning looked off.
If you die, though, you can just FMC roll like a god.
Yeah, but now he's short on
I have to go
health.
back in time.
It's not... You can just grab the 50, though, so it isn't too bad. So this is what back in time looks like.
It's important to mention that normally he would already have the leveled up sword, so he would just roll through it instead of going for the death push setup. So
That bad RNG did end up costing. So Z just reached over to turn on a Nintendo GameCube. And you might be wondering, why did Z just reach over to turn on a Nintendo GameCube? We'll explain in a bit.
So 8-1 has some really janky stuff with 2D screens going on at the start. I don't really know, so I'll let VB explain it.
So pretty much, this is actually kind of, it sort of falls under the same category of the glitch we did in 7-1 with the ice. It's screen transition manipulation. Well, actually, first off,
Oh, is he going to do the thing?
oh, are you going to do the thing?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
never
okay.
mind then. There's a thing, but it's dumb. Don't worry about it. On the next screen, there's actually going to be a setup. There's a pixel perfect shot, pixel perfect arrow shot to, you're supposed to ride the crowd across and shoot up at these arrows vertically, but instead you can just shoot one horizontal arrow if you do the setup to get the pixel perfect shot.
Yeah,
How
it's
many-
it's a really easy setup. You just cycle
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
links.
And that gets you gems, which you need for this route. All right, so this is where the craziness is going to start. This is one of the most visually appealing tricks in the run. He's going to go back.
Or visually disgusting, depending on where you
Yeah,
lean on that side of the fence.
and he's going to make red fall while they're transitioning back. And they're just going to chill there. And now when they're back on the other screen, their position's going to be displaced. So now we can be up here.
Oh, okay. I was being stupid. Sorry. This will fix itself.
Uh-huh.
I'll just do it
Oh.
again.
Okay.
Okay.
I was trying to show something off.
But as you can see, totally normal.
Yeah. So he switches to red. Red flies up, and that skips that entire room.
I still don't know how to do that.
With your hands.
So this is the final Nova Bomb screen of the run, I believe. Yeah.
Maybe?
I think so.
We used
So-
to have bombs here, so it used
Yeah.
to be a lot more lenient, but you saw that we did drop slashes to break blocks area. You can actually jump slash straight up and do a drop slash. You don't need the feather.
You also notice that he fired an arrow with red there. That's to destroy some pots that are on this screen. So you can stand on those switches.
And he made it there, which is good. It's really tight when you have to do the jump slash down slash
yeah.
to break the wall.
The down slash is like deceptively difficult.
And again, he just uses the wall there to spawn the links to him immediately instead of dragging him.
So this is an interesting trick. You may be wondering why he isn't killing these wizards with arrows. For some reason, if you kill the wizards with arrows, they don't drop their They don't drop their gems, so you have to kill them with sword. If you kill them with bombs, like we did in the old route, they do. I don't know why arrows are special.
You can kill him with one hit, but it's really hard.
Yeah. There's like a bit of a setup for it, but it's still really inconsistent. And you need to kill them for the gems that spawn.
So we used to get the hammer here for the longest time, but then we found out that if you do a really precise switching inputs from right to up, you can actually hover around that corner.
Ooh.
And then you can just jump up.
First try, nice.
Yeah, first try.
Don't soft lock. Okay.
Okay, no soft lock.
If you screen transition too low there, you just fall infinitely, and it's a bad time. Do you know what just happened?
No.
Okay.
FSA.
So we just skipped the maze also.
Yeah.
So.
I
Well,
believe
most of it.
the unintended screen transitions here are also Japanese only, I believe. I don't actually know for sure, though.
I think so.
Think so?
Yeah. This is Horde Fight. It's another thing that changed between getting arrows and bombs. With bombs, you can make quicker work of these, but with arrows, you can still do it decently fast. And a small thing you might have noticed is you shot the soldier with the arrows. For some reason, whenever you shoot a soldier with an arrow, when they die, they'll spawn another 5 gem. We don't know why it works, but it's just an Easter egg in the game, I guess.
So he's going to do a formation hover here with the wall. It's basically the same as others, but he has to do a little roll up left there to make it onto the platform.
The timing on those rolls
which can make it a
is also
little
pretty
tricky.
tight. And finally, we have mirror skip.
This is probably the biggest skip in the game.
Yeah, in terms of how much it saves. You roll across this gap, and that skips this very long sequence with Zelda and Shadow Links, and it's just awful.
Yeah. You also get a important plot item there, but you don't actually need it.
All right, so now we're gonna do something really funky. For the final level, Z is
Don't
going
forget
to
to save, by the way.
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Z is going to be doing solo co-op 8-3, as in he is going to be playing 8-3 co-op by himself. And we'll explain the benefits of this in a bit. This is not just for show. This is something he does in PB attempts. So now we're in co-op mode. Oh.
You went an A1.
I blame Tingle.
So right now, I wish you could see that. You can't really. You can kind of see he has his arms down. He has one hand on the GBASP and one hand on the GameCube controller. Here he's going to switch to just the GameCube controller to take care of these Stalfos. It doesn't really matter that they died.
Yeah.
You can pretty much instantly bring them back in co-op.
As long as both don't die.
Yeah. So pulling this lever here is extremely difficult to do as one person.
It's actually kind of convenient. You only have to actually pull with one set of links. The others can just sit there and hold the R button.
Hello. Grab him. Okay.
So he's only actually pulling with the green link, and the other ones just sort of hold on.
It's still really awkward to do, though.
Yeah, it's definitely really awkward to do.
In case you're wondering why we aren't just doing co-op, by the way, we kind of... This is how Z does the run, so this is kind of how he wanted to show it off. Even though it would probably make more sense to just do it co-op.
As you can see, boomerangs are a bit broken in co-op.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that. There's this cool glitch called sick boomerang action, where if you pick
Official
up...
title.
Official title. Where if you pick up a link while boomerangs getting thrown at them, you can go through everything.
Everything.
Walls don't exist, nothing exists. Oh,
Sick.
that was sick. Nothing exists, nothing matters. Sick boomerang action.
But has that happened before?
No.
I don't think I've seen that before.
There you go.
Yeah, I have also not seen that before.
That's actually a really hard room because
So,
the gomas are all shooting at
Here's
you.
the gem barrier. See ya.
This is the only stage you can skip the gem barrier. Since the stage
Alright.
doesn't trigger the end by the gem barrier, and it triggers ended at the boss, so that was convenient.
And now we're at the hardest part of the whole run, pretty much. This fight, when you play it co-op, it does get buffed. In this section, you have to throw these bombs into the tornado. But on co-op, you have to do it more times than you do on single player.
And in addition, Z doesn't have the level 2 sword, so it's
That
gonna
is
take,
true.
It's gonna
Yeah.
take longer than that even.
And that'll be even more important later. Like, it's going to be a big deal in a bit.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Body's tornado mechanics aren't very good.
Yeah. His in general mechanics just aren't very good. Like, his hitboxes are pretty bad sometimes.
So he has to switch between the controllers very quickly there.
Yeah, in this section, Vadi, the boss, will go to one of the GBA screens, which playing single player would just pop up on the screen for you, but at the moment it will only show up on Z's screen on the Game Boy Advance. But I swear he's actually fighting the boss, believe
You
me.
can kind of see it in the top right
Yeah,
corner.
you can see him getting trolled.
Yeah, this Vadi's underground
This
phase
guy's a
with
god
lot
gamer.
of RNG.
Generally, you want to get him trapped underneath you, but it looks like he's flying around the top of the screen a bit.
Take a-
Yeah.
He does this attack after a long time, so didn't want to do that in between.
All right, and that's Vadi.
The
Yeah, we can
fin-
clap for that. We can clap for that. That's a very
The
difficult
final
fight.
boss of the game.
Yeah, world record.
So we save Zelda.
So in this part of the game, the collapse, I think we've found a total of like 4 or 5 soft locks in here.
Including some in the cutscene.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this next scene that's coming up, in co-op, you can actually, the links are in the bottom left corner, and you can actually pick up the other player, and the text won't pop up, and you soft lock the level pretty much.
There's also a really sick mechanic in the first room. I'm hoping he goes for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of harder to do in co-op,
Yeah, it's definitely harder to do in co-op.
but hopefully we'll still see some.
So this isn't really useful for anything, but it's actually really funny.
Yeah. Floating link.
We just like to show that off at the end of runs.
And this is a bit of an auto-scroller. You have to wait for Zelda, so it doesn't waste any time. Collapsing co-op is actually cooler than in single player. In single player, it's pretty much just straight up an auto-scroller. there isn't really anything noteworthy in it. In co-op, there is some stuff. Like this. So stick boomerang action still works on the 2D screens.
And it's actually important. Allows him to hit that switch earlier. Sometimes these guys.
Yeah. So I think we touched on this earlier, but it's really important to realize that Z does not have the powered up sword because we switched the, or we skipped the gem barrier. Another SBA here, sick boomerang action.
He actually stood on that first switch for a little while. That's one of the soft locks you can get. If Zelda falls from the platform that it creates, sometimes she'll just start like turning back and forth over and over again. So that if you thought that was slow, it's actually on purpose.
I don't think anybody thought it was slow.
I mean, they probably didn't notice,
Yeah.
but...
Just in case, I guess.
In that room, I also grabbed the blue ring with red, which reduces damage by half, because I'm going to use him to fight Ganon.
Good fight.
It's generally a pretty easy fight.
Yeah, you just alternate
Yeah, you
between.
alternate between them, and it works out. If you try to keep jump slashing to do maximum damage, he'll just trash you.
So now we're going into the true final boss. It's who could it be?
I don't know.
It's Pikachu.
That would be a twist.
I would actually be so down if Pikachu came out right now.
What a cutie.
But yeah, this is Ganon, the true final boss. Very annoying fight, especially in the conditions that Z is fighting him in.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things going through his head right now. One, he wants to make sure that one of the links always has health so he can like pick them up if they die or whatever. Another thing is he only has the level 1 sword, so he's only doing not nearly as much damage as he would be if he had the level 2 sword, which you normally have. So it takes a long time.
So Ganon has 2 attacks he can do in his first phase. He can do this lightning attack, which is good, that's what you want. Or he can do his trident throw.
Yeah, so for the lightning attack, it's good because you can attack him over and over again. Obviously, you take a lot more damage, which used to not be a big problem when you had the L2 sword, but now with the L1 sword, you can die a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And you also you actually want to take damage there. If you don't take damage, it sucks you into the Dark World. And I don't know why it doesn't suck you into the Dark World when you take damage, but it's really slow to get sucked into the Dark World. So even if you're low on health, you'll generally just tank the hit. Now he's in second cycle where he throws his trident instead of doing the lightning attack, so you don't have to worry about that as much. That was
Yeah, that
really
was really
good.
fast. Wow. You can get 2 lightning phases, but it's pretty rare, I think.
Okay.
Alright, and phase 2 is, I guess, the more typical tennis. You have to knock them back at him. Five hits. So get ready on time, by the way, as you'll call it.
This is random too. He'll jump around as much as he wants.
Oh, double hit. Wow.
Is that 3?
Yeah, that was 3.
Okay.
Good RNG so far.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah, get ready on time.
And time.
208.
208.
Nice.
Unreal.
So there's only one person in this game who has ever gotten a time under sub 210, And it's that guy right there.
Yeah.
So getting it that in a marathon is absolutely incredible. I'm amazed. Incredible run, Z. Yeah.
Thanks.
I remember I first watched this run 4 years ago, and since then you've cut off about half an hour from the time I saw
Yeah.
you had then.
Yeah, that was Four Swords Adventures.
Thanks everyone for watching. It's great running this in the GDQ again. Hopefully I'll do it again in the future.
Shouts to this game. I've met so many cool people because of it.
Yeah, the community is amazing.
Yeah, and
It's only like 5 or 6 people, but it's great.
Yeah. Shouts to everyone. Trey, Hope, Yadra, Toad, Blue,
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. 26.2. Oh yeah. Do an explain results screen.
Yeah, sure. So this is what happens at the end of co-op, or if you're playing with more than 2 people. And this is why it would be slower in other levels as well, because you would have to go through this, and it would count towards the time. So it's good that we don't, because this takes like 30 or 40 seconds.
Look at what a loser Red is.
Objectively the worst.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you
Good
so
run.
much for watching.
Yep. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
And what a great run from Zmaster91. Let's give it up again one more time. Our next run will be Super Mario 3D Land Warpless, run by Zelda Cubed 1. But before that, let's play an ad from our sponsors. ViewSonic is a leading global provider of visual solution products. They're monitor experts with 30 years of experience. ViewSonic gaming monitors, we game with you. Visit viewsonic.com/gaming for more info. And welcome back again to Summer Games Done Quick 2018, powered by Twitch. We have had a few donations come in, and speaking of donations, let's just quickly go over here. Our bonus game, Pepsi Man, is over 50% of the way. So we're at $24,048.90 out of $45,000. So we had an anonymous $500 donation here. We missed the last 2 GDQs, so I thought I would make up for lost time. Can't wait for the Mario block tomorrow night. Great games, great people, great cause. I couldn't ask for a better place to donate. All right, we have an interview here for the Cuphead run. Our interviewee will be Darkman, and he will be interviewing the Mexican runner.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2018. I am Darkman, and with me here is the Mexican runner, who is going to be running Cuphead coming up very shortly, right after Super Mario 3D Land. The Mexican runner, TMR, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cuphead, I mean, a lot of people back home watching, they know a little bit about Cuphead. It's a very difficult indie game made by a great indie studio. It's a very retro feel style to it. This is there's no way else to say it's a very difficult game. So it must feel really you must feel very nervous trying to think, oh, I'm gonna speedrun this game in an hour.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always the pressure of being in the scene and trying to perform good. But I think with the years, you get a little bit of experience.
Sure.
You know, a lot of things can happen, but the most important, I think, is just having fun, enjoying just the moment. I know, the game is hard, and that's why I really like it.
Right.
That really make me pick it. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like challenges, so
Good.
definitely that's what my veins need, challenges.
Sure. So kind of, talking a little bit more about the difficulty, a lot of people back home, they struggled so hard with this game, but you're here, you're speedrunning this game, you're going to beat it under 30 minutes maybe. How are you able to take a game that is this difficult and just beat it so fast?
Well, I mean, speedrunners learn every single way to beat the games as fast as possible. So how? Well, it was a community effort. I cannot give myself all the credit or something. I'm just an artist playing speedrunning, kind of. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a community process that, and there was a lot of I mean, since it's a very new game,
Sure.
Still a lot of stuff is being discovered. It was really fun that one of the developers sent me an email and told me something that nobody of us knew. And the game was almost 7 months out. So I mean that was about the octopus. You can hit it and it goes faster in the pre-release spires in a stage, in a run and gun stage. So yeah, it's just still a lot of new stuff that is out there in the game that we still don't know.
Sure. So, a lot of people know you as, you're the person that beat all 715 NES games, the NES Mania. So obviously your specialty is in NES games, you've played, everybody knows you for Battletoads. But this seems like a whole different kind of game. So, what is it about this game that you like so much that, you enjoy speedrunning?
Well, I mean, to try to keep it a little bit short, I got gifted the game from a viewer, and a lot of people asked me to play the game, and I was like, okay. I mean, I usually like retro games, so they told me, oh, it's a very nice game. So when I started playing it, the controller, it felt immediately great. You press the jump button and it jumps, right?
Right.
I know it's very simple, but sometimes you get a little bit of lag and stuff like that, and I didn't got anything. So immediately I was like, oh, okay. Then when you have the pea shooter and other guns, it was a feel of Contra. So I'm a speedrunner of Contra as well, so that was a really good thing. And then when I started playing the bosses, it felt like a Mega Man boss rush, which it was really cool. And the difficulty is what really got me into it. Not only, I mean, also the graphics are really amazing, 1930s kind of a cartoon based. It's just it's very impressive. It's a nice looking game, and it's also very difficult. It was challenging. The music is just top notch.
Sure.
Like the brass section, like pow! When it's just starting, it's like, oh wow, like welcome, this is our game. Like wow, it just hooked me immediately. Like it's just little details, but everything, like if you analyze chunk by chunk, everything gets into the game, and it's a great game.
Sure. But it must be really frustrating as a difficult game to speedrun this game. Are there moments that make you like really mad because of how difficult it can be?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as a speedrunner, like, especially when RNG is involved, like it's not even your fault. Like you can be performing very well, but then like the boss doesn't give you a pattern you want. You feel like, oh, I'm losing seconds, and you know, like where I'm gonna catch them up. So at the end, everything adds up. Like yeah, it's definitely difficult, and because of the nature of speedruns, you try to even do it in a harder way in order to kill it faster. So many times, if you die, like it's over a speedrun. Sure. And I'm really happy, like the game has been improved, like very push forward, like the times are really low. A lot of the people like is really pushing the game low.
Sure. So talk to me about like this game being a new game and it being a process that you have to go through to kind of figure out. It's a lot different than something like Battletoads, where a lot more is known about it. Whereas with Cuphead, it's like you mentioned earlier, it's slowly evolving into something. Does that like frustrate you, knowing that like maybe you're doing something and then like a day later something is found? Okay, I'm going to learn this, and then maybe 5 days later someone else finds something. So, okay, now I have to learn this, and it changes this. Does maybe the changes that you have to do for learning this run, does that bother you, or is it more of a challenge that you welcome?
I have a saying in speedrunning, right? Knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. So the more you know the mechanics of the game, the easier it is for you to change strats, to adapt to something new. And I personally don't have that kind of problem. I usually am very good at finding my own strats, like developing my own setups, like whatever works for me. Even like you start with the controller, like first of all, sure. NES, like you have 2 buttons, jump and shoot, let's say. And here, like you have all different, like you can stay in place and everything. So all that combination, like when I grabbed the controller, it was like, oh, what shall I use? But later, when you start playing the game, you can start to see like, oh, I feel more comfortable with this. So sure. It was definitely a process. Also setting up the timer and all those things that are to console game, no, not to console games, sure. To PC games. Like that was new to me. I mean, to me, it was just easy to put the card, just play, and that was it. But here, like, I need to set up everything, and the really good thing is that the game auto-splits for you. Well, not the game, but the auto-splitter, sure. The live stream.
All right, we do have some social media questions, but I do want to ask just one very important social media question we have from Darren. It says, the Mexican runner, I got to ask, Cuphead or Mugman?
Well, I mean, thanks to the knowledge now we have, I will pick Kalis.
Yeah?
Yep. That's the new DLC character.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be great.
You didn't answer the question, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't, right? Let's just keep it classy, man.
Okay, I like it. That's fine. All right,
I mean, you have to give her a chance, right?
I think that's a good question to leave off the interview with. So I just want to say thank you very much, TMR, for taking some time to answer some questions. But first, before we end everything, I believe it's time to bring everybody's favorite prize man. Sen, I know you're here somewhere. Just come on. You got something planned. Just do it. Oh, hey.
Hey, Darkman. Hey, TMR. What's going on?
Hey,
guys,
hello.
have you met my shark, Chompy?
Yeah.
Oh, Chompy?
Chompy, yeah. He's a real nice guy.
You know that I have something with sharks that...
Oh, I mean, he's really friendly. TMR, would you mind just holding him for 1 second?
No, man. You know, I have...
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna do something that you're not gonna like, man. I'm gonna get this shark.
Well,
I hit the shark.
Yeah, well, I guess...
like it.
there he goes. Well, with Chompy out of the way, I guess it's time to talk about some of the cool prizes we have coming up for these next couple of runs, like Super Mario 3D Land. One of them being this wonderful little birdo doodle. Now, it's actually kind of hard to see this far out, but this birdo doodle is actually made up of a bunch of little squiggles and other drawings. It's a really neat art style. It's actually done by Puzzle P, who not only is an amazing artist, but she's actually one of the stylists back there, making us all look pretty for these interviews. So huge shout outs to her.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. That's a $15 donation from now until the end of 3D Land. So, I mean, now's the time to get in those donations. Zooming back out a bit, on the table here in front of us, we have some lovely little link perlers here from Four Swords Adventure. We got all 4 of the links. Green, blue, red, and that weird purple link that keeps showing up in games. I'm still not exactly sure what that's from. Darkman, any idea?
It's purple.
All right.
Doesn't need an explanation.
Good, great answer, great answer. We also have a wonderful 3D perler figurine of a one-up mushroom from Yoshio-kun. His perler work is really neat. It's, like I said, it's actually 3D, like stacked, a bunch of perlers stacked on top of each other almost. It's super neat. There's a great image of the tracker you guys can look up real quick. And here in the center of our table, actually, we've had it as a showpiece up in one of our shelves for most of the event, but we have this beautiful Ganon statue of his demonic form from A Link to the Past. Some really great detailing on it. Let me just pick it up real quick so we can get a nice shot of it. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, he's standing on a nice Triforce base. There's some lovely painting on his cape and his hair. Really, it's an awesome figurine. That was sent in to us by Zagorific, and it is a $20 minimum donation between now and the end of Super Mario 3D Land. So you guys should definitely get those donations in. And actually, TMR, it's not available quite right now, but I did have one more prize I wanted to show you real quick. Maybe Chompy will come back holding it.
No.
Or maybe not.
No.
Maybe not.
Let me go grab it for you real quick.
I had a really bad experience with that
Chompy
shark.
okay?
I hope it's not.
Okay.
So this will actually be available a little bit later during the Cuphead run, TMR, but I wanted to get your opinions on this. This is a handmade shadow box from Studio MDHR and Artovision. I believe there are only 2 of these made, period. Like, this thing is absolutely incredible. It's super detailed. It's a little bit... It's a little bit hard to find my microphone, apparently. It's a little bit difficult to see.
It happens.
But it's actually 3D. There's different layers of the shadow box basically built on top of each other. And that'll be coming up a little bit later during the Cuphead run tonight. And yeah, I think that's just about all of the prizes we have right now. I think I'm going to have to go find a new sidekick because TMR punched mine away. And Darkman?
I'm sorry.
That sidekick's probably not your microphone. It's not helping you out.
It's definitely not. But thank you guys for the wonderful interview. We're going to throw it back up to the host for Super Mario 3D Land with Zelda.
Please, and please.
All right, thank you so much, Darkman. You all are watching Summer Games Done Quick 2018, powered by Twitch. My name is Yellow Killer Bee, and I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for the next couple of games. Coming up next, we have Super Mario 3D Land being run by Zelda Cubed. That game is being set up right now. So while we're getting that ready, let's talk about some of the donation incentives that are coming up soon. The big one, of course, Pepsi Man. We're getting a ton of donations, a ton of donation comments. I know everybody wants to see that. And currently, we're at 24,000 out of 45,000. So we are well on our way to getting that donation incentive met. But that doesn't mean stop donating for it. We still need another 20,000. I believe we can get there. So keep those donations rolling in. We also have a donation incentive for Super Mario Brothers One-Handed. So Cosmic is going to be running that as a bonus game if that donation incentive gets met. So make sure to donate for that. I know we all want to see that one.